to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about GBO2 and tangent to other things. And we're probably going to be starting with the tangent here since we've all been playing Final Fantasy VII. But anyway, today I'm joined by GamingEmblem and
Hey.
Gustav the 13th.
Yep.
So, guys, how's your week of Final Fantasy been? But also, what else has been going on?
I'm actually glad you said that. Go ahead, Gustav.
It's been fun so far. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's funny you say that because I was literally thinking in my mind like this is totally gonna be the Battle Operation podcast anymore. It's the Final Fantasy VII remake spoiler podcast.
Oh yeah,
is what it's actually gonna be.
Yeah, real quick. So when we talk about because I'll put a timestamp in the description for this one. So you can skip the Final Fantasy talk if you want to. So I'll try to figure out how long that is and actually have a skip for that here. And then also if you're wanting a spoilers discussion, we'll go vague at first, and then we'll go full blown spoiler talk here in a little bit. So I'll try to have a skip the spoilers one too here in a second, maybe.
Yeah, we'll keep comments like I can't believe Varys dies in episode 1 to ourselves. Kidding.
Insta bad.
But anyway, yeah. So how was your week, Gustav?
It's been the same, except apparently we had a protest yesterday for the stay-at-home order over in our capital here in Michigan. So that was a fun thing to keep track of for yesterday.
A protest? Were they like seeing who was good at it?
No, it was mostly just them trying to contest the stay-at-home order since it got extended.
Oh,
here.
protest. Oh, okay. I was thinking there's like two words, but it is like picket sign. Like we want good wages. Okay, got it.
But they're wanting to not be at home.
Yeah.
Oof.
And meanwhile, so they did it with a gridlock, right? But where the governor's office is right next to a hospital. So they ended up blocking several of the ambulance ways and stuff for like the entire day. So of course that made national news.
Right.
My favorite kind of thing to be.
Yeah.
No,
dude, I feel like it doesn't take much to make national news sometimes though. Like there was a fight at my at a basketball game at my high school when I was like still in college that was on like national news. So I mean, like, granted, it's a big fight. People like tearing chairs out and like beating each other with it and stuff, but like, they'll put anything on national news.
But yeah, what have you been playing, Gustav, other than Final Fantasy?
Nothing else. Like I fucked with War Thunder a little bit just to see how my computer was gonna handle it. I haven't done a stream for it yet, but I might soon. Just to see. But other than that, yeah, it's just been nothing but Final Fantasy VII. Not done with it yet. And I'm probably not gonna be streaming it tonight. We'll probably be picking it up again tomorrow. I'm pretty much at the final chance for doing like side quests and stuff before like the big Shinra HQ kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I might do that's where I'm at right now, so I might do a little more tonight just to get all the side stuff done, because I haven't done all the Coliseum stuff kind of thing. So I'm gonna do that, and then maybe progress, and then I'm pretty much gonna go all day tomorrow.
Apparently there's like a really like balls hard summon simulation.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of looking forward to that, but not really.
Because redacted.
Yeah, I do really want to try to get in there.
I'm on.
We'll see how far we get.
I also need to finish Leviathan too.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we saw in the previews too. Yeah. Although that being said, when they showed it, it was for the Airbuster fight, and I didn't have it by then. I wonder if I could.
What's the Airbuster?
The Final Fantasy's young type.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's much better. Sorry, that I was only calling it the Zeong.
I am so glad I'm not the only one that was like, oh my gosh, it's the Zeong.
Someone made fan art of
That is great.
Young being set on that little like bridge and stuff with everyone facing him. And I was like, thank God people are like picking up on that, as if all the other XYZ weapons being references to other suits wasn't enough. This is just blatantly, even to the point of it being like incomplete when we first see it too.
Oh yeah, like, but as soon as it did the
Shannon had to
arm
rush
thing,
it
I'm
out.
just like, oh my gosh, there's the
Oh,
Ziyang.
speaking of which, did you guys see the other Gundam reference that was in there?
I mean, oh okay, the arm, or is that what you're saying, or
No,
an
no, no.
actual
I mean,
proper reference?
there's actually a proper reference, and it's based around the Colosseum.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay,
No.
it's the title of one of the side quests for doing the Colosseum stuff. So if you guys haven't seen it, then I'll just leave it at that.
No, tell me. I
I
want
mean,
to
I
know
think
now.
I've already done the side quest at this point, so I'd have to. Yeah, what's the name?
It's Shear's counterattack, and you fight a red sweeper.
Oh wow, nice.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
No, I haven't done that one yet. Is it
Yeah, I haven't done that one.
how many stars is it? I did all of the I thought I did all of the
It was a
Coliseum
special
fights.
one.
Oh, okay.
So like depending on which like quest branch you go through for Wall Market, you might not have had it. You might have had a different like special event.
Is it the one where you fight the bombs? Like, can it be different?
Yeah, I think the bombs one I didn't do.
Okay.
I saw
Interesting,
someone
because I've
else do
only
it.
ever got the bomb bombs.
So
or
I took on
regular
the red sweeper for mine.
Okay.
I
No, I
forget
didn't know. I
which
didn't know
one
it'd be
did.
different. Actually, that's interesting. I'm talking about the part, Magnum, where you talk to the Chocobo guy, and
Yeah.
he's like trying to get a tip.
Got
He's
a
like,
special thing for you.
The-
Yeah.
Yeah.
they got a dynamite. There's a dynamite body at the Coliseum or whatever, and like I think that's actually the name of the bomb fight is Dynamite Body.
I wonder which ones you can get, because maybe I had the bombs. You're gonna have to rewatch that. I just did that one, I think.
Yeah, because mine was
yesterday.
primarily the Madam M route. So once I did that Shear's counterattack, she shows up instead of the dude.
That's
even though it was
interesting.
his
Like,
robot.
what did you do? Because like I've tried to lead with Madam M, because like I just figured you talk to Madam, like whenever I go to Madam M's place first, it's locked. And so I talk to what's his face, go to the Honeybee Inn, get denied by those two, and then I go talk to Madam M, and we just do like her stuff like normal. I didn't think there'd be like routes per se. That's interesting. Like, do you do the sequencing different at all?
Well, here, one.
Well, your sequencing sounds the same as mine, so I wonder what is the difference. Other than just like maybe the massage you choose or some other stuff. I don't know. There's
That's
different
interesting. I got the
choices.
luxury
And some of it
massage.
dictates some dresses too, so
Right.
That is a
could be a
good
thing.
point. Maybe that's what decides it, depending on what you spend.
So what did
'Cause I
when you
do,
when they had you call the coin, what did you call?
I did tails.
Okay, I did tails too. So if someone did heads and
I
it
did
was
heads.
right. And
You
did
got
it
the, you
come
think
up
you got the same
tails?
thing I did,
And it
Magnum?
came up tails, yeah.
Okay.
He just says whatever since it's the same
Yeah.
sided coin, he just tells you you're wrong either way.
Well, let me ask you this: when Tifa asked you what dress she should wear, what did you pick, Gustav?
Sporty.
I picked exotic.
I did exotic as well. Now that one does change.
Yeah. I think exotic pretty much just looks like a ninja.
It's a
Sporty,
kimono
she looks
or
like fucking
whatever.
Yeah.
Chun-Li.
Oh, she wears like a China dress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's
I should have went
that's
with
why I want to
sporty.
go back through. Yeah, I want to go back through and see that.
I liked it. It was cute. And then I didn't expect to, but I actually got the top tier dress for Cloud from that rhythm game. I thought I was gonna fuck that up a lot worse.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's different, like with the results, because like the best I've done is missing one arrow or thing.
It looked the
And,
same, but
yeah.
I messed up the first time just because remote play and trying to do timing stuff is a pain.
Yeah. I got 2 bads, but like a lot of them were perfect, so I just was able to squeak that out.
Yeah, then after it, then I got all perfect. So I reloaded because I was like, we got to get this perfect, guys. And so I'm like, safe scum.
Yeah, so there's 3 different dresses. There's the one where he has long hair for the 3rd tier, and that's the one I got. Then there's one where he has like braids, and it's a different dress. I don't know what the last one is. That's like the lowest one.
Yeah, that's
And
interesting. I
maybe-
figured just all vary depending on what choice you make. Because I heard Eris has different dresses too. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this: what dress did Eris have? Did she have a red dress?
Yeah, she had the red dress.
Yeah.
I wonder how that changes then. That's interesting.
What massage type did you guys choose?
I picked the expensive one.
I watched
Same.
all of them just to see all of them. And then I ended up, I think, on the cheapest one.
Was she in a long red dress for you, Magnum?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's
Wonder
not what that
the
is.
size-
It's probably something different then.
To the internet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway,
But anyway,
I digress.
so yeah,
Final Fantasy VII podcast.
yeah,
moving on.
we'll get back on the Final Fantasy VII here in a second, and I'll actually put a thing up. But, Emblem, how was your week?
Pretty good. We're celebrating the final week of the Zeta Festival. I even donned my new
Hey,
Hong Kong City T-shirt.
Oh,
nice.
Universal Century 0087 on it. Very cool. Gotta celebrate the release of 4. And by that I mean like, Merc 4 in under 3 minutes. And everything else. The DJ is out. Just got the suit like literal moments before the podcast started. So feels good, man. But yeah, like kind of same as you guys. I've been on the ball of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've already beaten the game, so I'm ready to, and I'm doing hard mode content. Screw the freaking Hell House.
oh my god, the Hell House even on normal is fucking brutal.
Yeah, you'll
A
love
lot
it
of
on
the
hard.
boss fights in this, I've actually been having to like scrape by with like 1 or 2 people being up still.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh well, I was gonna say with the Hell House, like I did it once and finally got it down that night, but my internet died, and then the next morning I went ahead and started with it, and it was like
Talk about in hard mode.
no. No,
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
beaten the game yet. I'm gonna beat it tomorrow. That's the plan. Or well, probably not tonight, but tomorrow, unless I just pull an
Gotcha.
all-nighter. But like going back and fighting it a second time though was just like it was easy just because I knew how it worked. And I was like, oh okay, got it. Because the first time I didn't have one of each of the like elements of spells on all the
Right.
characters, so it was like, oh, it's in ice now. I can't do anything for a few minutes. Time to kill everybody and run around in circles. So, and then the second time doing it though, it was just like, okay, well now I've prepped, so you're gonna die, Hell House. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
and then I downed it in a few minutes the second time, but like the first time through, it was pretty brutal. But I like though that it was like one of those. Each thing pretty much has mechanics that you can learn. That's one really cool thing about all the fights so far. Is like everything
Yeah.
has something that you can get around. I haven't really found anything that's like this is a cheap shot. Boom. I mean, it happens sometimes, but I think that's kind of the RNG of it a little bit. So you might have a run that's just like one of the things I was trying to do in the Coliseum, for instance, is the 7 dudes come out or 8 or how many ever there are, and they're all grouped together. So with Aerith, I'm just like storm move, poof, AOE, and everybody just drops instantly, right? So just one shot the entire
Right.
pack of dudes. And like the first time I tried to do it, I tried to use the offense dodge or whatever to have Cloud pull everybody in, and it didn't work. And I just got completely wrecked. And then Cloud went down, and then Aerith went down. I was like, oh, okay, restart. And then the second time I did, I was like, whack, whack. And then I dodged, then pulled everybody in. Then Aerith had her ATB build up. So then it was like, boom. And then I one-shot the entire group. And I was like, yeah, there we go. See, easy game. But like the first time, I just got stun locked after trying to do that and failing horribly. So,
I think you'll like the stuff in hard mode, Magnum.
oh yeah,
The fights feel more like miniature raid fights, especially the bosses. To like add little mechanics and stuff that you have to take care of.
Yeah.
Are we already like in spoiler
Oh,
mode? I guess.
well, here,
you
real
would say?
quick. Yeah, I was gonna say I've been thinking about it while we've kind of been talking about it. There's almost no way. But as far as my week, I've been doing some Borderlands again with Captain Chad.
Hmm.
Pretty much staying safe as much as possible. Got groceries and everything to my grandparents and to the house here. Um, fully geared up, masked out, stuff. Now I'm, pretty much to the point of reusing the supplies that I've had. But these were supplies that I've had since where I worked at the hospital. So, um, I'll kind of take my chances at this point. You know, be about to pull out like a.
Well, I just got my phone, but
Oh,
this
okay. Oh,
this fell while I was grabbing some stuff.
I thought you were gonna
It's
pull out
not
like a
Maxim.
gamer mask that I know some people are like. There's one website right
no.
now that they have like game themes like Call of Duty masks that you can do, and
No,
every
nothing.
mask that you buy goes to charity kind of thing. Those types of
Yeah, a
deals.
bunch of artists are having to adapt and they're making their own like custom cloth masks and stuff.
Yeah, it's
That's what's
pretty
up.
cool. That's actually somebody here locally that we know actually makes a bunch, and they're making them for like the state basketball team and stuff like that. And they're you know selling them locally here, but I mean most of it I think is going for she's like then donating to charity kind of thing. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
nothing
cool.
that cool. I just have various like random things lying around that I have. But don't mind me. Keep doing like
No,
a
but
week and we'll
I
like
mean,
keep
that's
going.
pretty much it for the most part. Other than that, it's been Final Fantasy, GBO2. I think I tried to do a little Path of Exile, but right before. But yeah, that was pretty much like might have been right after the last podcast, and that was it. So yeah, Final Fantasy things. So I'll go ahead and change it to say Final Fantasy. I don't think there's an easy way to do spoilers. So if you're wanting a spoiler-free section, I don't think we've actually said anything that's too spoilery anyway, as it
Yeah, it
is.
depends on how like deep in the tank your spoilers are, or your spoiler filter is.
Yeah, it depends on if you want an insanely strict one, then we might have already said too much. But here we go, FF7 remake, and this is just going to be all. We're just going to say this is spoiler filled. So, if you don't want spoilers, go ahead and mute the audio or something till you see FF7 remake in the topic box. That's pretty much going to be the go-to. I actually thought about doing like a mobile suit that said spoiler warning thing, but I did not wake up early this morning. But I was gonna have like a Psycho Gundam with like spoiler warning across its like chest or something. But yeah.
Psycho Gundam vibe check.
But anyway, but yeah, so Final Fantasy VII stuff now, because that's pretty much been the most of the week. So yeah, well, as far as, well, yeah, I forget where we were at. So what were you saying though, as far as Coliseum stuff?
Oh, I can't remember, but I was just gonna say
But yeah, now
that
we're officially in full Final Fantasy VII mode. Now, I won't say specifically what they change, but I'm kind of interested. I'm interested in what you guys think about what they've changed so far story wise.
I like it. I
mean, I'm a
think as
fan.
long as yeah, I won't go too far until what happens at the end of the game. Since I know you two haven't quite gotten there yet, but it's once you see the ending, it'll be very, very interesting. Like everything kind of starts to make sense with the whispers. Like I'll just say this because it's not really a spoiler, but you know how like in the game they talk about how the whispers kind of keep the plot in check.
They're literally
I call
plot
them the plot.
ghosts.
Yeah, I call them the
Yeah.
plot police or whatever. One of my viewers was saying that the whispers are like the fan base of the game.
That's funny.
And it's interesting because you're pretty much fighting against the fan base. Just to kind of put it lightly, like I think they're gonna make I think they're gonna be like little cool differences in the next game, and it'll be very interesting.
I mean, I'm excited. I know there's apparently been some pushback, like some like pretty negative, like hardcore fan pushback or something. But
Like about those or
Probably about the ending. I mean,
yeah,
I could see why.
I think the ending is one of the big things, and then some of the, and there's a couple of in between stuff. So I mean, me and you haven't seen the ending yet, Gustav. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to like. I know as far as the where they changed a couple of things. I'm trying to be vague here, but a couple of the Avalanche stuff. I'll say it that way. Like, I was kind of surprised at where me and you are at right now, Gustav, seeing up to the changes there. Pretty much the couple of chapters that we just did.
yeah,
that was
pretty good. It's just the Avalanche members getting more detail in general has been really nice.
And
Yeah.
just
I hope they're not
all the
hating on that.
details.
They're actually awesome.
Wait, say what?
I was saying I hope they're not hating on that. I think the Avalanche characters being more fleshed out is awesome.
Oh no, I think the fleshing out of stuff, I think people will like, but I'm guessing it's probably the ending is what most people are getting at. That's what I've
like. I'm kind of hoping that
not
the
been trying to
ending kind of
explore.
justifies the plot ghosts a little bit more, because for me right now they just seem really contrived and like pointless.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with
And
that.
like kind of heavy-handed, like, oh, a bad is gonna happen right now, maybe. It's like, yeah, I already know. I guess if I'm
I've
like
played
a
this
new
video
player,
game.
then maybe they would be a bit more mysterious and like, oh man, what are they doing? But like, it's like, I know something fucked up's coming up. It's interesting that you're saying that they might have more to do in the next one. Like we'd actually be contesting them more directly, which makes me wonder if they're gonna have stuff like diverge a little bit or have like different
I will say
possibilities that they didn't have
this,
before.
Gustav, I don't think we'll have to worry about the whispers in the next game.
Oh.
I see. Interesting.
Well, I had
So they're going heavy-handed for this, and it just kind of opens up afterwards. All right.
Okay, well, I had a fan theory of something, but yeah, the fan theory was pretty much right after the cutscene, where you see like, you know, because they've been trying to add more context to what Cloud's hearing, so so as far
That
as that
and also
goes,
just
like the
Aerith's
tier,
like abilities.
I commented in your chat, Gustav, when you saw the tier,
Mhm.
and then there was just right before that he was talking to himself in one and was like, I don't know, I wanted to remember like we've been here before or something like that. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to?
Well, that's the
So then I got a
interesting
crazy
thing.
fan theory. Go ahead.
In the original, he was talking to that double of himself a lot more, and there was no implication for a very long time that it was somebody else.
Yeah.
There was even that moment in the Honeybee Inn where you go into a specific room and he would be like, "What are you doing in this place? You know, don't you have other shit to do?" Yada yada, and he would have like his own like conniption fit, pass out, and then the staff had to find him in there.
Are you talking about the
Having
part
one
where
of
you
his
go in and
episodes.
there's another cloud in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of curious if they're trying to do something a little crazy to be like maybe actually doing the game a second time with it being a remake kind of deal with that. That's my crazy fan theory. I doubt it, but I was just kind of like, that'd be kind of cool. But I like how they're actually doing the remake name fully, like they're not only are they just remaking the game, but they're remaking the story. So
Right.
I do like that. I think that's really cool. So that's why I was like, could this be a remake as in a redo? But yeah,
Or just like adding
my crazy
stuff. You
fan
know how
theory.
you always hear those stories about, oh yeah, this plot point, that or the other, all the cut content that you see in these games that were supposed to be in there, but they just couldn't do it.
I think
Like,
that's
it
really
makes me
cool,
wonder
too.
how much of it it makes me wonder how much of it is actually like brand spanking new and how much of it was just like old stuff that they're like, yeah, we can just bring this shit back now.
Yeah.
And,
I
like,
agree with you there.
incorporate it fully.
Well, look at the
Look at how
train.
far along we've come. Or
The
what-
train graveyard was
The
pretty
train
crazy.
was awesome. Oh, also, by the way, with what happens there, I won't say specifically, but I forgot about what happens in the story. So when I got to the train part there and I was seeing what happens, I was like,
Mm,
oh no, here comes, no, the sad part's coming, guys. Here we go. Oh man.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
forgot
that's
that.
literally the whole thing about the train. It's just being ominous and shit.
Yeah. So for me, where I misremembered what happened, like, I was like, I wasn't seeing it like what some other people have been like. They gotta kill off, kind of thing. And it's like, I'm like, oh no, I'm waiting for this. Stop doing this to me, game. Because I was already waiting
Mm.
for it to happen. But I forgot that, and that's another thing I guess I'll point out. I thought that the Barrett like scene when he freaks out and stuff, I thought that was, I was waiting for that moment. So they did it different. It was still good. It was still like a
Hmm.
fantastic performance.
He
But
didn't shoot the wreckage or anything like that.
yeah, he
was
didn't
just
do the wreckage
really
shooting or
freaking out.
anything, and that's what I was remembering. So I thought that, yeah. So, and also, by the way, he was standing right there next to the computer screen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you noticed that too, but I was like, but he's like, he kept saying, Marlene, Marlene, and then I'm like, you just,
You just heard her
you were
say
just
something
standing
about
there.
him.
She, what? So, like, yeah, I'm like, are you deaf, Barrett? Like, what? They're like, come on, man. So yeah, that was a little weird. But other than that being a little weird, like, um, it was still a great performance. But I kind of, I like it, but I was kind of looking forward to seeing it play out in the same way and just seeing how that would look in these awesome graphics and stuff. So, but
All right, Magnum, don't be such a whisper, dude. We gotta do Final Fantasy remake stuff, okay?
don't be such a whisper. Is that the new?
Yeah.
Don't be a whisper.
Yeah, if you're a sweaty Final Fantasy fan that
Oh,
wants it to
man.
be just a souped up version of the PlayStation game, you're just a whisper.
Oh
A
no.
whisper. Oh no.
What? Ooh, whip.
What?
Ooh, whip.
Can I just mention, like, I have the trailer pretty much playing on loop right now while we're talking about this, and they have a lot of scenes from the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
in the
do. Because a
trailer.
lot
Yeah,
of
they
people,
do.
when it first dropped, they were like, "Man, this is how far in is all this shit?" So
Right?
Yeah, like I remember the first scene I saw from the trailer was like the Tifa jumping on the tower, and I was like, "Wow, this is like good 20, 30 hours in." The first thing that I've recognized from the trailer so far. What in the world? So, but I will say though, turning an hour and 30-minute speed run into about 30 to 40 hours is pretty legit.
yeah, like the amount of stuff that they have and how dense they made this part of the game with that part of the story is pretty crazy.
Like, I'm looking forward to hard mode, but as far as the playthrough though, I feel like I don't know if everybody's talking about 100%ing the game when they say 40 hours, but I feel like if I didn't leave my PlayStation on all night after I ended one night, and then just me taking my time running around in circles trying to figure out how to open that golden gate for like 5 extra hours.
Oh my god!
Because like Emblem caught up to me, and I had like a good 2 to 3 hour head start on him.
I was
Because I was just,
surprised,
like,
like, you
trying to
got to play
catch-
more and stuff too. Like, I was looking at your streams, like, where's Magnum at? Like, I can't be too far behind. I was like like several chapters up, or like 2, or
Oh,
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
a chapter and a half.
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
I
what the
run
hell?
around. I run around and do whatever. Which the thing is, you pulled like, well done, man. You did like almost 24 hours there that one night. Like,
Hey, if we include the second stream after I took the 2-hour break, it was a 24 hours segment.
yeah, like
Before the battle off mixed in.
I went ahead and I was like, oh man, I gotta call it a night. I'm not making it. I did this all nighter. I gotta go. I gotta get some sleep. So then I went and I got some sleep, and then I just like I wake up like full 6 to 8 hours like rest, and Emblem's going strong, and I'm like, damn. He was already like
The
in the
game's a lot
sewer.
of fun. I really like it.
I will say it is fun in the sense that when I'm like, okay, I can stop now, and then I'm like, oh, it's been 2 more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is
I'm gonna keep
definitely
doing
holding my
stuff.
attention. But
It's definitely a reminder that there aren't a lot of like hub areas where you just kind of wind up and you'd be like, oh yeah, we can stop here. It's like, no, plot point after plot point. Maybe you do stuff in between, but there's always something going on.
For sure.
You know, it isn't until you actually hit where we're at right now where it's like, yeah, you can kind of chill because now you're just doing all this stuff before like the obvious like hard stop.
yeah. So
And I'd love to talk about it some more after you guys finish the game. Because I think it'll be interesting.
oh yeah, we'll do a part 2 of this where we talk about the ending. And that'll be like we'll just put up super spoiler warning. But anything else we want to talk about Final Fantasy 7 stuff or
I was just gonna add in earlier when Gustav was saying about it. Like, I think it's pretty interesting, and I think at this point too, it's kind of hard to tell what's like content they meant for the original and what's them adding on to like the game with the
Yeah, like it's just brand
spin-offs
new.
and stuff. You know, like what was added on because Advent Children existed, or
Yeah.
you know,
I will
what did
say
we
that
do?
because
Mhm.
Crisis
what
Core
is
and
it?
stuff. Yeah.
Crisis
Right,
Core
yeah.
actually contextualizes a lot of this stuff, and
For
it's
sure.
actually pretty nice. And people are saying that the ending scene or the ending
It's straight out of
credits
Crisis
movie
Core.
is literally just like on some Crisis Core shit, even down to the music.
Oh really?
For sure, yeah. They literally like have the final cutscene from Crisis Core in the game.
Wow. Okay,
Like,
that's
Oh
hot.
really? Oh my gosh.
I like that.
Crisis
Yeah.
Core is by the way guys, I'm a huge fan of Crisis Core. Like I've been like I know what I'm
I'm a
going to be
huge
walking
fan of
around
what
and
it
playing before bed.
contributes. I am a fan of what it contributes story wise. The gameplay loop, seeing other people go through that, no, cannot. That
Okay.
is repetition to the max.
So I guess because
Fights
I am
lasting a lot longer than they probably should without you being
Yourself
able
probably
to.
doesn't like slots either.
No,
You don't like having every single fight play out like Kate Sif's limit break.
no, thank you.
like well that's the like I don't know, maybe my RNG was just too good when I played through it the first time, but like I mean I was like, okay, this is just overpowered, it makes it too easy. Okay, cool. Okay, I guess I'm
Yeah,
playing
and that's the
slots
other
again.
thing. Like you're not really doing as much, and I think that's why I'm glad that they really nailed the gameplay in this one,
Yeah.
because it could have easily just been that again.
I feel like with that's kind of what I was commenting. I was like, this kind of feels, now that I think about it, this feels like I'm playing Crisis Core, only everything that I feel like Crisis Core could have been.
Yeah, fucked up. You just did it better here.
Yeah.
It's like a culmination of their lessons from Crisis Core in 15.
Yeah. Exactly. And like the gameplay in this is just so good. The only thing I wish you could do is animation cancel with block or dodge.
For
Oh
real.
my god, yeah.
Barrett
Like-
does a good job of canceling into blocks, but he's like the only character.
He's
Yeah,
also a
but-
slow ass motherfucker, so it's just easier for him.
Unless you're doing the melee weapons that he has. Like,
I've only gotten the one so far. I don't have the fist, I just had the claw.
I forgot where I got the 5th one from, but you can buy it from somebody, I think, or somebody gives it to you from one of the side quests, I think, is what happened. I
I
got it
wouldn't
there.
be
where
surprised
you're
if
at.
it culminates to like in the Coliseum.
I'm glad he
or
had the
something
melee
either.
weapons for Barrett. I didn't think they would, given how like his gun is kind of important for fucking flying enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
But,
flying.
Yeah, like I
you know, if you have a
switched to
melee weapon on, Barrett does not jump. Like
Nope.
if you're fighting something flying, Barrett can't jump after them. You will have to throw spells at them or
Mhm.
use like your ATB meters to do gun attacks if you're a non-gun weapon.
Yeah, that's
literally
the funny
just
part.
grind out the proficiencies and then put a gun back on his hand. Like, for the love of God, just do yourself that favor.
What-
It hits stupid hard. It's really devastating when you can actually reach people, but he's slow. He can't jump. It's rough.
like I'm when I first was like, okay, I got the pretty much. Am I about to hyper hammer this, or am I about to become like a gotcha here with this focus shot? And then then I was like, is he gonna fire the
The
Rocket
cannonball?
the
That was so
like
cool.
is he gonna cannonball this like with focus shot? Is that what I'm about to see here? We're gonna like have the gotcha's hammer essentially. And
Juice makes a valid point. Definitely a rocket punch. Square,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
listening to the podcast, give Barrett a rocket punch in the next
It
game.
needs to
Thank you.
happen.
please.
Yes.
But yeah, the like as far as that goes, the shooting with a melee weapon was kind of awkward. When the attack, I forget what it's called now. I just keep saying intensify the barrage, but is one that you have to have 2 bars to use. What's that one called?
Oh, the one that comes from Big Bertha or whatever.
Yeah, that one. I just
Well,
call it
That
Maximum
one,
Fury
that one
just
you can
Yeah,
do
the
doesn't
Maximum
require to.
intensities.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the cool thing about Barrett too, is that you can do whatever you want. It's just you can do it at different intensities.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
Barrett's really good at stagger though. His focus shot with 2 bars does chunks on the stagger
yeah.
meter.
Oh my god, yeah. It's just really satisfying.
I mean, that's kind of the big thing of the game is learning how to pull off the staggers and
then Tifa's literally just a fighting game.
oh my gosh, Tifa's stuff
Spam the
is
square button,
just-
baby.
Span the square and the Shoryuken and then just lay in with your skills.
I do the unbridled
real.
into the punch, whatever the second
Yeah,
punch is
because
called.
Unbridled
Yeah,
changes your combo
Omni
too.
Strike.
Is Omni Strike just the solid, just one
Omni
punch?
Strike's the second one. It's the one where she does the shoulder tackle.
What's the okay? Yeah, the shoulder tackle. That's the one that's like just gross.
Like Unbridled is literally like her exam mode. It's really
Yeah,
For
I'm
real.
just like
I mean,
unbridled
I have
and then
ATB
shoulder
assist on her.
tackle.
Yeah, so I just like flurry in, double bar, use unbridled twice, get to boost on my teammates because all I do is derp around and not attack. So that I fill up their ATB bar, and then I just unload on people.
Yeah, I can't wait to put the metal gloves back on her. Like right now, I've got like I'm using all the like maxed out materia stuff, just leveling up all the materia. So right now,
I'll just say
not getting
this:
much
like
done.
when you fight the final boss, you start out with Cloud only, but like literally Tifa's the first character. Well, for me, the first character that came back, and I was like, well, this is a fighting game now.
Yeah.
I will say I feel like she's overpowered because like I just did the part
Tifa's disgusting.
where you know you run around as Barrett. Oh, by the way, did anybody else shoot the boxes on top of the that were
Oh my god,
like,
that was so
stored?
satisfying.
They were just like yeah, just
Oh, for sure.
like shooting those all the way through the little sewer part. That was great.
I have a theory that his gun is a lot like old Mass Effect guns, where it would just like shave off like this base ammo thing, and that's why he always has ammo. He just never has to reload because it
There you
just has
go.
like this almost near infinite like source in the center of the gun.
He fires blood bullets.
Oh my
Oh
god!
no.
Oh no.
no.
Raw mana. Oh no.
But yeah, man, the gameplay is just so good though. Like, yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. Again, just the
Now
only
make
thing.
now
pretty
make a Gundam
interesting,
game like that.
I play. I like the style of game. It
That'd be
reminds me, like the gameplay reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy 12. It's like a more action oriented Final Fantasy 12. That's not bad for me. Because 12 is very similar. Like it has the weight system. Also, you could do active if you want.
If 12
But
was
the,
less FF11 and more like Terra Online,
I
or
hated.
something like
Okay,
that.
wait. So 12. I remember playing it a little bit just because I played 13 and then a friend of mine had 12, so I went and tried it. So, but the thing is, I started like on his save, so he was like somewhere in the middle of it. So
Right.
without the tutorials, I was just kind of hitting buttons. So there is like a active thing.
Well,
I-
it's not so
it
much
felt-
active. That's why I say it's like it's like 12, but it's a little bit more active. Because 12 only does time-based attacks. Like you
Yeah.
can't just swing your sword just to swing
Like
your
the
sword.
reason why 13 just annoyed me, and I do have 13.2 somewhere here, and then like 13 something
Lightning
returns, and then 13
That game's
whatever.
awesome.
Like, didn't they make like 4 different 13 games for some reason? I'm like,
Nah, it should
how
just
Something
be
many?
like
three.
that.
Just the 3. Yeah, so I've
Yeah,
got
it
Yeah,
them
because
here.
one of them turned into 15.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
it's versus 13.
Yeah, so like the like I've got them over here, but I've only played 13, and like the thing that I can't stand about it is like, you know, you'll be fighting a boss or something, and then, you know, everybody's spread out doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, oh, here's the boss's one shot. Okay, guys, let's group up right for his AoE one shot. Oh, we all
The
died.
random character movement was frustrating, especially since like they had attacks that were AoE and were actually based on where your characters were standing. It frustrated.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh yeah. So, like, 12 pretty much was that, right? Or am I misremembering that? Because
No,
I
no,
thought it
no.
was like, could you actually move them though, or move your
Yeah, you
character?
can have full control of all your characters. Like you'd
But
have
you
to
still had to
switch to
wait.
different people.
Okay.
But I mean, it had the gambit system where you could like set up, you could control the AI and stuff like that, so that they wouldn't just be doing dumb stuff for the most part. You could have them set up to where, like, under certain conditions, they would use certain spells and abilities. The game pretty much plays itself if you have the right gambits, which is awesome in my opinion. As not a For me, that is not a negative point.
Okay, I'm misremembering it a bit then, because I was talking about 12 while I was playing 7. I was like, pretty much 13. All I remember was it was had the same system. It was garbage, but
If you
it was
have you
better
ever
though at
played?
least.
Did you play Final Fantasy 14 before it became a Realm Reborn?
Yes.
It's very similar to post Realm Reborn Final Fantasy 14, where like your character doesn't do anything. Like I think you get basic attack in that game without meter,
Yeah.
maybe, but like you don't do anything without a charge on your ATB. Like
Yeah.
you just have full control of your character, and it's like an open world kind of thing. But like all of your actions it's all turn based.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, I definitely want to check out 12 again at some point and play it now.
Zodiac Age, it's fun. They have Best Girl Pinello in there.
There you go.
I'm noticing a trend with your best girls here.
Oh yeah, I don't mind having good wives. She's very similar to Fa.
Well, there you go. Oh, by the way, who's the new best girl? Like, I'm guessing
Marlene for sure.
That's
so cute.
Okay,
FBI, open up.
I thought you were. But
I can see right there, sir.
what's her name? I ran in the side quest. I ran into the new character that was annoying.
No pedo bear, by the way. Let's put that in there. A girl is. You don't have to be sexually interested in the best girl, okay? Like can I just like put that out there? Everyone turn your pervert meter down.
Nope, calling the police. Too late.
Damn it! As long as you don't call Chris Hansen, I could take the police. Police not a problem. But when Chris Hansen tells you to take a seat, and we just got to sit down.
But so yeah, like who's the new character? Like she was shit talking Avalanche there, and Barrett wanted to like.
The reporter girl or whatever. Yeah. The other kid character.
Yeah, she's literally green right now, but she has a blue hat. She's an Angel's daughter.
Yeah, I was like, Tifa, go punch her now, do it.
In the face.
She's annoying. Okay, Barrett, go do it. I don't care. One of you go. Whoever's most annoying.
Can I just
flip a coin?
Can I also just mention that I know Reeve has already looked like this, but now that I've played Final Fantasy 15, can I just mention that like I think when Noctis died, he became Reeve. Like he didn't actually die; he got teleported to the Final Fantasy 7 world, and he became
see
Reeve.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like they looked at his assets and were like, you know what? This changes here. We're good.
Pretty much.
Let's make adult Noctis Reeve, and we don't have to work very hard. We got that remake coming up. We'll just reuse this character model from the future.
I feel like that's what's happened. But the so there was that character that I was trying to figure out who, like, because I remember stopping by after I rated you, like, and I was like, I saw the chat.
Her name's Kyrie or whatever, or Kyrie or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Something along those lines.
But yeah, like somebody, like, I just saw your chat, like, new best girl, this or whatever, and I'm like trying to figure out where you were in the game, because you were like already, I think, past Wall Market or something around there. And,
oh yeah, I remember.
And I was trying to be like, okay, so we're in Wall Market, so okay, so then Cloud in a dress. I'm like, oh, this is probably what Emblem was joking. His chat was joking about. Okay, I got it. I've got this figured out.
Exclamation point waifu in chat.
So I was like, so Cloud, there we go. That's it. Nailed it. But
yeah, Cloud is definitely the best waifu.
But yeah, that was one thing I was kind of wondering. I'm like, who is it? But there's so many memes you can make out of this game that it's just funny.
For real.
But
honestly, when Cloud's in that dress, like for some reason, all I can think of is lightning.
I mean, that's literally been what everyone's called Lightning for the longest time is female Cloud.
Female Cloud, yeah.
That is funny.
Like-
oh my gosh.
I think that's why I like her though.
So, Gustav, do you like pre-plot development bitch Lightning, or do you like post development like nicer Lightning?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Mainly just because Cloud's such a dickhead too, but I actually like Cloud.
Yeah, Lightning doesn't feel like as much of an edgelord as Cloud, though. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just
that's
because
why-
Cloud's a guy.
See, that's why hey man, I'm in Team Zach over here. Just saying.
Zach is too much of like a typical shonen protagonist. I don't really give a shit about Zach.
Oh man. Okay, well I am shonen trash, so yeah, that's probably why. But
I love episode 2.
but yeah, the game's good.
Sorry, I still haven't played Crisis Core. Zach is just a Cloud clone as far as I'm concerned. Is that an alternate costume for Cloud and Smash or something like that?
Just baby
Yeah.
boy Cloud.
Yeah, that's what I love episode 2. I'm like, oh man.
Like I saw Magnum. I actually own Crisis Core and I still haven't played it.
You get on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you like sure, like I did my friend and never actually played.
Oof.
it.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
Gustav, you don't know, but
Don't tell me to
Okay.
do things because that's I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
that is a
Anything
thing
that you
is
ever
real.
suggest to me, if you really try to get in there, I'm just not gonna.
But my friend like was really big about it. Like he played Crisis Core. He's like, dude, the game is so good. You gotta buy it. I was like, yeah, I'll do it eventually. Like I can't remember. I was probably in the middle doing something else. Like I was probably playing Tales of Symphonia for like the 30th time or
There you
something.
go. High five. I'll
Um,
get behind that.
Yeah. And he kept trying to like push me to play it. And I kept saying no. And like eventually he bought the game for me. He's like, here, I bought you the game. You have no excuse not to play it. And I've not even put it in my PSP.
Damn.
Like yeah.
I
Sorry,
mean, my
Josh.
excuse is that I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oof. But yeah,
So,
like,
sorry, bud.
you said though that if it has the last cutscene, I mean that's one of the like. I remember.
I watched the
remember
videos
playing
from
through
it though.
Crisis
Don't worry.
Core.
YouTube is great.
I remember playing through Crisis Core at the end. Oh man, that was a tear shed, man. Man, tears. Like,
Yeah, all that really contextualizes why Cloud's such a dickhead, and it's really good. Like
Zach's the
if
real
we
man.
didn't, yeah, like if we didn't have that, or if they didn't reel it back in 7, and he was just like that all the time, then yeah, fuck Cloud. But a little different, hits a little different
without
when you know
playing-
why.
Without playing Crisis Core and only knowing the stuff from the game, all I know is what I've learned from Final Fantasy VII Remake is that Eris's old past boyfriend was redacted.
Mhm.
Hojo says that he remembers Cloud. He was redacted. There's a lot of
Yeah.
instances where Cloud has very selective hearing. My game glitches out, just sparks, and the screen gets a little of a green glow on the edges. Oh, one thing more I was going to say too is I feel like the game takes a lot of liberties. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake knows that it's popular. Like, did you guys
Oh, yeah.
notice that?
Oh yeah,
Like,
it
there's a lot
definitely
of
does.
stuff that happens in there that I feel like you wouldn't know, or that would make a lot less sense if you've never even played a Final Fantasy VII before.
That's actually one thing
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up. What do you guys think? How people who have never played the game, and like the next generation coming up, the young whippersnappers
Hmm.
these days, this is their first run around with Final Fantasy VII. Like, how do you think it's being received because of that stuff? And also, do you think there might be a little too much shown off in the, like, for instance, one thing that I've seen a lot of people commonly say, which I could kind of agree with a little bit, is all the amounts of Sephiroth that shows up like right there at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fact
Sephiroth
that
is
he's
just
there
kinda
off rip.
So there's a fire. How's it going?
Yeah,
It's just like the first time I saw Sephiroth in the game, I was like, what the fuck is Sephiroth doing here? You like see him sparingly in the first game. This is like going to the fucking grocery store and see Sephiroth buying fruit,
yeah.
It's just like,
Like,
Sephiroth,
get
what are you
outta
doing
dude.
here? Yeah, like it's
not your
fucking
time
awkward.
yet.
Yeah. We had a schedule for going to the store, Sephiroth, and you're not supposed to go when I go.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
probably one of the weirder missteps. Like between that and the plot goes is like y'all need to take your turn.
Well, I don't think it's a misstep necessarily. Like my reaction is just me playing the original game where everything's watered down.
Mm.
And like I get it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think stuff like that is honestly bad. Like Final Fantasy 9 is a good example. Necron is the final boss of Final Fantasy 9, and I think he has dialogue. He has disembodied dialogue in literally one cutscene in the game. Like maybe there's like more minute stuff that I like me as a kid didn't catch, and I've never really gone back to remember. But like the only time I remember seeing Necron talk was like there was one skit event in the game, and like at the end there's just like disembodied talking, and I'm pretty sure that's Necron, and that like that's it.
But you
Like
had to
you go through the whole
guess.
game. Yeah, like you go through the whole game like, okay, we got to stop Kuja. We got to stop Kuja. You fight Trans Kuja, and then all of a sudden you're fighting Necron, and this banging battle music's playing. Like, who the fuck is this guy? It's just so
Well,
you
I
know.
feel like this is the interesting thing too, is that once you get out of Midgard is when they really start to drum him up in the old game, right?
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah, because I'm pretty sure he starts showing up in that cave or whatever after you fight the Midgard Zolom, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so
right
it's like
after
he's a little bit more ominous because you're just like you're following his trail, shit that he's either fucked up or like that Cloud remembers over time. So I feel like he has a good amount of buildup in the
I
original,
know.
even if he's not really like shoehorned in the like Midgard
Mhm.
section.
Yeah.
But I think that's also one of the side effects of
Oh
having
no,
it be
Sephiroth's in
so
this is in the
compact.
Shinra building. My bad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
Sephiroth's one that does the fucking murder massacre in the Shinra building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's technically the first
and
time
he
you
takes
show
it
like,
over.
oh my god, what the fuck happened here? And then Cloud's like, oh my god, it's him. How could it be? Over there shit
Although
in
I
his
will say
pants.
though, there's like there's a little bit that you guys would want to like see because like I get why Sephiroth is there. I'll just say this: I think Sephiroth seems like he's a meta player, kind of going off of what's going on,
Mm.
and knowing that it kind of makes a little bit more sense because like in the later parts that you guys have been to, he starts doing things that kind of hint at the direction they want to take the game going
Okay.
forward potentially. And I think that's kind of more why he has more of an influence ish.
Okay.
I maybe wants to stab girls with his giant sword.
but yeah, I think that's one of the things that like as far as how they're telling the story, I think has been a lot of people. I mean, not really the complaint section, kind of like that what we already talked about, but like, people being like, well, this might have been a little too much, or what, little nitpicks kind of thing, more than actual complaints. And then my only real complaint that I have that that wouldn't be a personal nitpick is again the classic mode, called classic mode. But
Just don't play classic mode; it becomes a 10 out of 10.
yeah, pretty much, or pretty much. That's where I'm at right now. Like, just because they got the name classic mode, they could call it anything else other than classic mode, and then I would be okay with it. But they just very poorly named it classic mode.
I'll call it piss off Magnum mode.
There
I'll
we go.
just call it Weenie Hut Junior mode.
Yeah,
right.
exactly, right? That's exactly. They could just call it something like that. Super easy.
They should have made
Autopilot
it a
mode.
mode where you guys ever played Bayonetta 1? That game had a difficulty mode that was like easier than easy mode. Like it actually had its own controller setup
Oh
where
yeah,
you
where you
could
like
play the game with one hand.
just smash the one button and she did everything or whatever, right? Wasn't that
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it'll like remap the controls to one side of the controller. You could play with one hand. Maybe that's what classic mode should have been.
Oh my gosh.
That's what a lot of people felt that like original 13 was for a while.
I mean, pretty much. Like I remember falling asleep a lot playing that game because I'd be like,
That's just because the turtle bosses take forever to
well,
kill.
then I,
Man.
I was
It's
gonna
okay.
say that, yeah. Then the bosses, like, I remember I had to actually backtrack because I went right when it opened up into like the open world type section of 13.
The
I was
step.
like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just keep going now instead of fighting all this random stuff around here. Oh, now I'm at this next boss, and then it was just like, oh, I needed to do more back there. Well, time to run around in circles and kill things for another 2 hours. So I get enough stuff to get some points. Because the thing is, I was just getting like straight up, my defenses couldn't take the attacks of certain things. So then I was just like, okay, well, I just have to actually grind. Then I grinded like 2 extra levels or whatever you had to do to get the points to start putting them in that tree of stuff. And then I was like, okay, now we're good. And then I just went and killed the boss. But it was
And
just
man,
like,
you just weren't paradigm shifting hard enough.
pretty much.
That game, the battles in that game are like 70% paradigm shifting and like 30% killing things. It's like
a rhythm
hard
game
bosses
in
like
its own right.
yeah. It's like, oh, that tech looks scary. Time to switch to Guardian mode.
Yeah. But
It's official. We've been talking about Final Fantasy stuff for over an hour.
Yay.
well, almost.
All right, so
Almost. We got from the time I hit the record button, we got about 4.5 minutes.
so Magnum says he wants a couple more minutes more, Gustav.
I don't think
Come
so.
on, can I get 1 more minute? Okay. But yeah, anything else? Anything else? We've talked about gameplay. We've talked about spoilery stuff.
I need to discuss the proportion of Tifa's boobs in the original to this one.
I actually had someone in
mean for our
chat do
female
that
fan
too.
base.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
It's come up for me too. They're like, man, Tifa's not nearly as busty. It's like, oh, are we looking at the same girl? I mean, she's pretty well endowed still.
was
If you
gonna
ask me.
say-
Every time they got a side profile shot of her, I'm like, god damn.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, like,
disappointed.
I'm just like, okay.
If
so
anything,
we have,
she's bigger than she
we
was in
have-
Advent Children, and that's a time skip. So like, what do you want?
I feel that.
we have Aerith, we have Thirsty, and we have Tits McGee over here.
Thirsty.
Thirsty made me sad though. I like
Oh.
Thirsty.
I know.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Thirsty fucked me up.
Oh man.
Can't wait for episode 2.
Like the fact that they've really just like that's what was like, oh my gosh, just being with the fleshed out world and getting to meet so much more and actually, have some extra like side stuff and just seeing the devastation and all that. It's like, yeah, like oh my gosh, the amount of feels this game has is
Imagine if you had a Gundam game with that kind of scale where you actually get to do stuff on the ground after the colony drops.
That would be interesting.
damn.
Like literally half of the world's population has just been killed, and like Xeon's on the move, and you're having to either be on their side or like on the Federation and like just do stuff from there.
Damn.
It could be like Xenogears, where you can do like ground fighting and mecha fighting too.
Mhm.
Interesting. Or Xenosaga. I know Xenosaga. What episode did they start doing the robot fighting? I think it was in 2. You could like your robots were just like things you could summon during a fight and use.
Literally just Rise shining Gundam shit.
Okay,
Pretty
by the
much.
way,
I mean, you literally just conjure up a robot and throw down in it for a little bit.
speaking of just randomly having a robot and just being able to just like, hey, I've got a robot now, get wrecked. Just like Titanfall 2 with through the story, it's just like when you get into your robot, you're just like squish and you just like you do your melee attack with it and just to watch as like everybody becomes red paste against the wall. Like it is kind of, I'm like, oh man. So yeah, it's pretty gruesome when you get to just like delete people and turn them into red mist with bullets. It's kind of crazy. So just thinking about that though, like I think it's funny when you still get slashed as a pilot and you just like fall to the ground. I'm like,
Just mount Titanfall with Gundam stuff and we'll be good.
there we go.
Yeah, get the Titanfall team to make Battle Operation 3.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Holy shit.
I know pilot combat would actually be like
Worth it,
enjoyable.
damn.
It'd be crazy.
Okay, so we are done with Final Fantasy stuff.
There are more things I would like to talk about, but you guys need to beat the game first. So yes.
Oh, okay. So it's part 2 next time.
And pretty much whenever I'm like, I can't wait till episode 2. during the thing is just me like wanting to say something and holding back. So
Yeah.
Okay. So next time, like we've tried to be a little bit vague this time, but next time though, I'm gonna have a spoiler sign next week, ready to go, being
Now I
like,
get to tell you how many different ways this game has hurt my feelings. Oh my god.
yeah. So next time we'll go full on spoilers and talk about everything. So this was, I mean, we hit a few that I know people would consider spoilers, but oh well.
all right. Our topic now is actually Gundam.
We
D-
promise.
Maybe.
DJ. Let's get that.
We've
DJ
done all of our
in there.
tangenting for the podcast. This is all business now.
So, the new suit.
It sure is a suit.
I just have one problem with it, and I think if they change it, it'll be a very balanced suit that has no problems for raids. I mean, it'll still be a good raid killer, just because I've played the Mark II with the shrapnel bazooka. But all I'm saying, having a one-shot bazooka, shrapnel bazooka, like one-shot stagger is gross, dumb.
It's so good.
Get it out of
It's so
here.
amazing.
Like,
What are you talking about? The
Don't
shotgun is
stop being-
perfectly balanced.
Stop being
oh yeah,
trash.
yeah. The
secondary.
shotgun. I'll take the shotgun a little bit, right? I'll argue in favor of the shotgun a little bit,
No.
even though it's still some bullshit. But the
Let
shotgun.
me fire my shotgun in the air. Shut up.
Let me fire the
It's my
shotgun for
favorite.
150, and then tack on a range of 100
Hell
extra
yeah.
shotgun range. Like, have you seen the range on that though when it actually pops? Like, shrapnel
A
bazooka,
thing
like it's
of-
like explodes, and the shrapnel bazooka goes like I think 50 range ish.
Like, I'll be honest, like
100.
I'm all about it just because this is what I thought the shrapnel bazooka was gonna be like, because I remember it from like
Right.
verses and stuff. So it's like, oh my god, this is it. This is what I've been
I'm
waiting
right there
for
with
in
you.
terms of that shotgun. So like, fuck yeah, let's go. Now I can actually like run that, and it's the sub weapon. I just get that shit for free. I don't even have to
That's like
switch
the
out my
worst part.
rifle.
Make that bitch an alternate primary. Like it has a shotgun as a sub weapon. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's
Like,
so dope.
The raids
Okay,
are
okay,
fucking
so would you
screwed,
take
man.
the-
like
that's the
all
thing.
of them.
Like, I went in the O2.
So what are supports?
I went in the yeah, for real. But I went in the GBO2 though, just to be like, how brutal is this going to be? It wasn't as bad as I thought, but it still was as BS as I thought. Because
Nice shield, loser, shotgun.
yeah, here's my fridge door. Oh, here's my, I'm not even gonna aim at you. I can't even see you. You can't even hit me with your beam. And by the way, you're staggered. Have fun. Like,
Virgin Camphor versus Chad DJ.
oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Now that you have a long range shotgun essentially on this thing, and you're not squishy at all, and you can just
The DJ feels scared in the Zeta Gundam, by the way.
yeah. If I see the Zeta, I'm like running at it as a GBO2. Like I was actively trying to get behind the like sieges and stuff. Like I was like, I'm going this way. I'll beam you, and then I'll swing at you from behind because like if they see you, man, they just swap to their secondary weapon and just fire in your general direction because you got a fridge
just
door.
sneeze at you.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh gosh. So okay, so fair enough. If you guys think so, compromise here. Make the normal shrapnel bazookas act like this thing then.
That would be fucking amazing, and
I think
in
that
my
should
life.
kind of too. Like it's
Like-
kind of silly that it's like that now. But go
Like honestly, I would do that and like make the rifle, like power down the rifle and make that the sub weapon.
swapping it would be interesting. Yeah, it pretty much be like
That way, it at least has another weapon besides skins. Because like having that little at this cost is kind of damning and stupid.
Well, let me ask you this real quick too. So, do you think the DJ is too strong as it is right now? Because it does have a pretty big hitbox, especially. I don't think the wings stick out too much.
I mean,
but,
it's pretty easy to hit. Like
Yeah, it's a
playing
big
as
ass
the
target.
GBO2 MLRS. By the way, I got that. Woo, finally.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, playing that, it was easy to hit. Like, it's a pretty big suit. Not only just tall, but
That has fucking
wide
maneuver
as
armor.
well. Oh yeah, that's we'll get on the skills in a second.
Well,
But
doesn't the Zeta also have maneuver armor though?
No, it does not.
no, but it does
Or
transform.
does it just get it in the
Yeah, like you get
the
the
secondary
super
mode?
stagger
It
resistance.
doesn't have
Yeah.
it in biosensor either. If it's looking like it, it's probably just activation giving it the
Yeah,
stun
the
immunity for a
activation
minute.
gives it all immunity. It's not even just stun immunity. It's all immunity for the activation. You can't make it take a knee even. Like there's
Which is
nothing
weird
that
because
breaks
it
it.
doesn't even have a pose when it does it. It just happens. It doesn't interrupt your
Yeah.
movement, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah, so
I get it though. It's the Zeta. It's supposed to be kind of hype, so you got to give it something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that I don't really have it, be like, oh, biosensor OP, but when the biosensor happens at that moment that you really want it to be stunned, oof.
Or when you thought you were gonna fish
For
them
real.
out, fire sensor.
Yeah. So, like when it does happen like that, it feels like you get gypped a bit. But it's the Zeta, I can deal.
I don't know though. They brought Daddy Amuro's suit in the game, and it feels pretty powerful. So
Yeah. Well, I
like
mean,
Amuro touched a suit. Let's give it a disgusting mane and a nasty side.
oh no.
I can dig it
armor
because
as
I
well.
feel like the alternative was that it was gonna be underpowered and no one's gonna want it.
So I think we should just give the Zeta Gundam the Hyper Mega Launcher now, and it's
Hell yeah.
it works
Make it a support.
just like the Hyzak Customs beam rifle.
There we go.
Wouldn't
I'll take it.
Wouldn't it just essentially just be a uniform? I feel
That's
like
the thing
that's
too.
just what it would be.
I like it
Yeah.
better as a Hyzak Custom because I don't have to do the charge thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like an insta shot stagger with a charge knee stagger that pierces.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I like that.
That'd be hype.
Dude,
And they would,
for real.
and if they don't want to have, and like, let's be real, they don't want to give support to Fly mostly. They don't want to give support to fucking Natural 600. So you
Yeah.
guys like support players don't get to transform.
Like-
Fuck you, Magnum.
Like I love the detector, but they lowballed us and that's kind of shitty.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
for
for
real
sure.
though. Like, what in the world? Like, we don't have a. I mean, I would take a 550 to a 600 as well, right? Because raids are there at the same time with the
Mhm.
550 600. They don't have a net 600 either. But
Yeah, like the
we don't
crawl
have
to
a.
600 is still gradual. We haven't gotten there with a
We don't
decent
even have
roster
a
yet.
550.
Well, there's another one on RS. Come on now.
No, I mean, sorry, I mean Zeta 550. Sorry,
Oh,
but also,
Gotcha,
we
yeah.
have one 550 period, and
That's all you're gonna get.
Well, they
Raids
just
have-
hate support players, man.
raids have
Like,
3.
we
I
went over
feel
this
like
last week.
I feel like
I
what
really
happened
think-
is
I
like
think they're
they
hitting our
shifted-
conundrum that we were talking about earlier on when we were trying to predict what Zeta suits are going to be like. And it's like, all these are really hype.
What's going to be a support, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what's going to be a support. And they're like, well, not this one. I think people will be mad if we do it to this one. And now they're just like,
Fuck, what do we do?
Sweats and Gundam. Like, shit, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they did the same thing with the 550 stuff though too. Is they were like, what do we do?
I'll say this though in
let's
that
give them the
regard. I mean,
Jaeger
if the
level.
GPO4 is a support, like I don't think they should be having the problem that they're having. You know?
Yeah.
If anything, they lowballed the 04 too.
Yeah.
But I think another part of it is that they're trying not to skew the line between certain roles and stuff, and they're just
For sure.
the faster this game gets, and the more stuff suits are able to do, the harder that is going to be to adhere to.
Oh yeah.
And I
Right.
don't see that as a
mean,
bad thing. I just think they really need to have a strong paradigm shift going forward.
I mean, really,
I feel you there.
what are the roles if not just a way of just playing rock paper scissors a little bit? So
Yeah.
I mean, I could deal with,
And I
maybe
think-
having a support.
I think that's why they're trying. They're having a hard time because they want it to be more than that, right? They want them to
Yeah.
have legitimate roles. They want them to have a certain gameplay pattern. They're trying not to diverge from it, but it's really hard when
Well, I think
we
they
have a lot
need
of
to,
overlap, and like we
I
do
think they
have
need to start doing more
blatant like
supports.
blue supports and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they should make a true support at this point. Like, I think that would help them out in regards to like them finding identities, because they're like going too hard on making like the hard hitting like DPS output support suits,
Yeah.
and they should probably do more like of an actual supporting style support, kind of like how we mentioned. The methods are going to be a raid. Let's all be real here. But
I don't know if you're
like,
memeing or if you actually think it's gonna be a
like
raid.
yeah,
they better make it a fucking raid. They better make it the Methodist fans got their gun cannon detector. That's your Methodist support. I'm gonna use all 7 of my beam sabers to literally slice supports to shreds with my
When did that ever
transformable.
happen though?
I mean, never use it
What are you
because
gonna-
like
what are you gonna do,
look,
just start
Fawn's more of
yeeting
a
beam sabers?
Fawn's more of like a lover than a fighter. Okay, so the Methodist just
If I was
gets like
bringing
this,
the
this
bento
support rap.
lunch out in the form of a saber for you, that's what that is.
Yeah. But if the Methodist was a support, which it won't be, they could do like the heal gun or the heal aura or something like that. Or like I think buffs and debuffs, like they already kind of do it a little bit with the camera gun, the chaff grenades, stuff like that. Like more buff effects, like lower enemies attacks. The bird lime. Sorry, I was trying as hard as I could not to say cum shot. But the bird lime launcher like is a really good example. Like
I
make a
usually just
support-
say the goop, but okay.
I said the jizz gun. So
Yeah, it's-
Oh my god.
but the bird lime is a really good example. They already have like stuff like that in the game. And the Mephis is such a good example because it comes with that beams chaff grenade. I think that would be a really cool tool to have, where you could essentially set up an anti-beam field in a certain area, and your team can like fire like rockets or stuff from behind it or something like that. Like they can make it work, and I don't think it would take away for the suits at all. And it might make a double support comp a little bit more viable because you have a DPS support and a support. Like it'd be really cool.
Yeah, not to mention it would emphasize like ballistics in a cost range that has nothing but beams in a lot of cases. Like people have to
Like,
whip out
unless
their
you're a camper
secondaries
or
to go in
something.
for melee. Yeah.
I mean,
If anything, that'd be camper Sun and Shine too. So like I can dig that because they're already like glass cannons. Now they just have something to do when fields go up.
one of my big things though is right now the reason why I play a lot of support and stuff is because I like to shoot things. And so if they did that extra stuff like that, I'd probably be finding whatever had the most pew pews and going and playing that. So yeah, so then if that does change, but I would like to see some of those suits put in the same way that you just said. So maybe not even
Right.
just
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
even-
They're not
even
going to
if
go.
it's
They're not
that-
going to do away with DPS supports. It
Yeah.
would just be
Oh,
like
no.
a different type for sure.
But either way, though, I mean, even if it's a support type suit, I would like to see that kind of actual, assisting type suit or whatever, if you want to use a different name or something. But like, I would like to see that kind of mechanic in the game, though. I think that would be cool to see suits like that do stuff, and
For
you could
sure.
put in the support role, and then that way you have your 1 DPS and 1 support, and there you go, you got your 2 support
Yeah.
comp, and there's
It
your
would
2 roles.
also emphasize murder balling because I would assume those suits would have a hard time surviving without actually sticking and doing their role while having like their secondaries when they actually need to attack in the interim. And having that and emphasizing like teamwork. You hope it happens right. It probably won't in randoms, of course, but group play and stuff be a little bit different.
Yeah,
That's
I just think
another
it
thing
would
they
dip
really
into
need
the
to do
the MOBA
together.
aspect
Just
more.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I was expecting support to be when I first saw the name support. And then I was just like, oh, support's really the DPS here. Okay. I'm the
Yep.
pew pew. And like even if they do that though, do you think we're just gonna see generals kind of then take up the mantle of kind of DPS in that regard? Or do you
Maybe.
think we might see
Some already
raids
do. I
suddenly
feel like
turn
Yeah.
into-
they're making them emphasize melee still pretty hard.
I mean, look at the supports that are the blue supports, like the ground full armor.
Yeah.
Like that thing is a DPS beast, and
Right.
I mean it shreds through things. Like you do not want to be a raid caught in front of that. And the thing is, it can shred through generals as well, so it still works for being a general killer. So it's just so happens that the raid can't really do much to you at that point. I mean, you
I
still
think
can.
they just made a mistake with this stuff. I think the generals just dip too well into other types' identity,
Yeah.
and it makes the other types worse because of it. Like raids don't like generals can there are generals that do stuff better than like any raid can. Mark II.
Yeah.
Or look at the
So
Pell
it's
Rider being something around 400, and like it feels like the Pell Rider heavy arms just feels like a BD2 essentially.
Yeah,
that
or
happens
like
to be
the
blue.
Pale Riders in general also have people running them like snipers because of the big iron and the beam.
Mhm.
And I get it, they're supposed to be like jack of all trades, master of none, but I don't know, man. It seems like they
They're
do that
like
shit pretty fucking well.
right, there's so many of them, and when they do branch out, they like spec them too hard until like I'm not saying they need to be shitty. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't know. There are some cases where you might be better off just having the I don't know, the deep I will say support DPS is still pretty high up there, but it's
Yeah.
almost like you're essentially like almost trading off a little bit of your damage to not only have advantage against raids, but be like like a bit more survivable because like those suits get maneuver armor where supports generally don't have that. Um you know, you have type advantage against the guy that's trying to bully the dude that's kind of a bit further, potentially a bit further back, DPSing and stuff like that. Um,
I mean,
like I don't know.
the full armor ground type is a perfect example of that. You get the maneuver armor, and you can just shred people from a mile away. And it's
Hmm.
at that point, I'm kind of like, the only thing that they're missing is the radar at that point.
Right. Let's
So
shoot. Some generals have
I was
that
Don't
gonna
too.
say that
say,
they'll
like,
probably have it, and
I
then
was
they'll
gonna
give
say,
it
do
like
they
an
have it? That was gonna be my next
shit.
question.
It can detect everything. It can just while it's in. Why
I
not?
think the White Dingo Sniper 2 has it. I think it has one of them. Like I don't say it has every support skill, but I think it has some support skills.
Yeah, I can actually check that real quick. That one. Um,
But I mean, it's already too late. I mean, it's like they can't do. We're gonna have
oh
like
yeah,
we're gonna have something similar to the raid changes, but they're gonna nerf a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
just
general
a
suits.
massive general nerf. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be doing that.
That would probably, with how far in we are, that would probably ruin the game. Honestly,
Throughout the whole game, people would just quit.
for pretty much,
Like,
yeah,
fuck it,
yeah.
because it general also covers just so many iconic suits too.
for real.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the other thing too. General, literally, if you're just looking at the number of suits, like at 400, I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra little notches in the bar on the side.
I actually didn't know
And
that
support is 1 page for me.
the White Dingo actually had a special head. But
Okay.
the only other thing support wise
Oh,
it
you're
has is
right,
the
it does. Yeah. Which one?
high performance scope. That's about it. And that's literally just because of the rifle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying
Shield
to find
tackle,
mine.
but that's
Oh, there
about
it
it.
is. I have a level 2, not a level 1. So, but yeah,
But
speaking of number of suits though, like there's just so many extra generals, and then on the raid side, I have 1 page, and just literally the Zaka 2 FS in Matsunaga is, so yeah, I have 17 raids and 15 supports, and then like 50 general types.
Goddamn.
Like what?
it's in there, man. But I digress. We're talking about the DJ, right? We said no. We
Yes,
said no tangents, right?
yes.
But yeah, the suit is very powerful,
I'm happy with
and
it.
it's
I feel like I can front with it pretty hard, so
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
cool.
it should be pretty easy of access too. Looks like its Gelgoog swing is
it's a
better as
sensible
well.
Gelgoog swing.
Yeah, right. Like
Like I was saying yesterday, leave it to Amro to be like, why do these guys twirl them in weird angles? Not just hit it in the front. Fuck.
I quoted
For real.
you on that in the update video I made. I was like, and to quote Gustav, like, leave it to Amuro to have a sensible like Gelgoog swing.
So yeah, that made me happy when I saw those swings, especially the down swings. Like, yes, I can actually angle this properly without even having to try.
But overall, yeah, it's really solid suit. Again, I would like to either see the other shrapnels get the same treatment, or if the shrapnels aren't getting the same treatment, have the maybe it have a different weapon as its primary, being able to switch to it.
That's a good point too. Like, just kind of a minor note. The Hayakushiki can use the shrapnel bazooka, right?
Yeah.
Like the shrapnel shot version.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really good way to buff the Hyakushiki. Like, I think the Hyakushiki would be much better.
Actually, yeah. Okay, so yeah,
my body.
Either
I
like
can
you would,
only be so erect, Emblem.
Like, could you imagine? Like, that would give you such a powerful matchup against the MLRS. You go from trying to shoot around a shield to just being able to say "F you" shotgun blast.
Like, sit still, bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'd be such a strong adjustment.
Because I'm already having to figure out Shiki Fu, where you have to like kick around it and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, fuck that. Just straight up, just nail it with that, and then just move forward a little bit. It's like, oh no, it's fine. Now you're on your ass, and I can just figure out the rest from there.
Because like at this point too, I wonder. Because like, you know, I've said stuff like this, and I've gotten the argument, and like, well, let's just make every weapon in the game the same. No diversity. But like, if no, I wonder how many people actually use, besides like Magnum. I wonder how many people use the shrapnel shot bazooka. Like, I'd love to see some data on it, because if nobody's using the weapon, then
Then
like,
what's the
who
fucking point?
cares,
Change,
right?
or
Yeah.
at the very least, just change it. Like, you're already doing overhauls to other weapons, like the one for the Tetra.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
people are already calling for those changes to be the same for the other versions of that Beam MG. Like, how is that any different from this case? Other than you just don't get stunned as quickly sometimes.
Right.
Like, if it didn't have the potential to be like super busted, and like people just bitching because they don't know how to like deal with it, then I don't think people would be like, oh, no, lack of diversity. It's like, yeah, lack of bad weapons that no one's gonna use.
Right.
horrible.
I mean,
and the only reason why
we'll
I use
see.
it,
The beam gun's still in the game.
Yeah.
but yeah, like the only reason why I use it is just because it has a crazy high damage output, right? But that was their kind of give and take for that. It's like, so it's harder to
Right.
stagger, but you have crazy damage if you can hit. The thing is though, is that if you can hit is a really hard thing, and like from what I know, the only other people I know that use it right now, there's, who did Chad say? I can't remember, but Chad mentioned somebody, and that's pretty much
Well, I
it.
got somebody in chat that says they use it as well. So, I
like,
mean,
there's
there's
three
like
of
at
us.
least one
The
other
three of
person.
us that
Yeah.
use it, like, there's a few, but I mean, pretty much again, the only
Yeah.
reason is because I like to pew pew, and I get more pew pew with that than the beam rifle, and then at the same time, I can hit some crazy numbers with it every now and then if my aim is on point.
Yeah,
But
like there was a certain novelty to it when it came to like, oh well, you can use this and it's a little more low impact, especially when you're not the ace. So it's easier to
ace
get like
matches, there we
assists
go.
and stuns in.
Yeah, you cut out there when you said ace matches, but yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, exactly. There's that, and then there's the other thing that I like it, and what I was using it for is if I run into a GBO2, like I would just shoot their fridge door twice,
Giant fridge door.
and then
Yeah.
be like, okay, now I can go melee you. I'm still probably gonna hit your fridge door, but I could definitely
Mm.
easily, because again, big target. But unless they were a big target, I pretty much missed a lot of times with the shrapnel bazooka. So that's one reason why I kind of liked it, though, is for countering stuff like that, because I really felt like the O2, and I still feel like the O2 is. I mean, we just had a game in the custom matches last night where we had what, five? Well, yeah, five O2s. One of them being a support, and that was, we ended up winning that game. It was pretty brutal. All the Vulcans, man, and beams and everything. That was gross.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
So
That's gross.
yeah, so that thing still is a beast, and to have a counter for it is pretty nice to actually have. Um, so fair enough, even though it's one of my favorite suits, and I'm definitely biased to have it be really good. But I can understand, but that's it. Like, there's other than the high DPS that I can do with that, like that's about the only use I have for the shrapnel right now, effectively.
Mhm.
Like, if it really came down to it, and there was like, some kind of like tournament or something, type
Probably gonna
play,
rock the
then
rifle
I would
instead.
probably start practicing the rifle to get good enough to use that instead. So yeah, so they do need to do something with it probably, and maybe this is a test. Maybe they're testing it with this just to be like, is this overpowered? And I mean, it feels pretty gross. It feels really gross. And also,
And also, Magnum, just to touch on what you said about like switching between the weapons, like I think if they had this normal shrapnel shot bazooka be like this shrapnel shell, I think it'd be even better to run the shrapnel shell style in the tournament over the beam gun. Because like say it was a high cost thing, the DJ will definitely be dominant in there. And I mean, being able to punch through the maneuver armor would probably be a little bit more valuable than having a beam rifle.
Yeah.
oh wait, are you talking about against like the O2? Like just, I mean, currently or with the
Oh wait.
Dejis?
I thought we were still talking about the like shrapnel bazooka getting changed.
No. This would be
Based
like
on stuff like the
current shrapnel onto the Mark II. Like, is what I was talking
Okay,
about.
I thought you meant like if they made the changes,
No. And if they made the
you would probably still
changes,
run the beam
then
rifle in a tournament setting.
yeah. No. If they made
Isn't
the
the one on the
changes,
Mark
then
II
we'd
a
have
little
an
bit
option.
better too?
What was that, Gustav?
What?
Isn't the one on the Mark II a little bit different too than like the regular for the Diaz?
I'm not sure. I thought they operated the same way, but
Yeah,
I haven't
I'm
used the
pretty sure
Mark
they're
II
the
one.
same thing. They're essentially the same thing. Only one's more of a what hyper bazooka
They
style,
just
and
look different or
yeah, they just
whatever.
look different essentially. But they're
That within itself, I think, is a lot better just because it actually has more clearance too.
wait, which one?
The one for the Mark II because it's overhand over the
Oh yeah.
shoulder as
Oh
opposed
yeah,
to underslung.
right.
So the other thing that's kind of weird though is, again, I feel like the normal shrapnel bazooka for like the DS or
Hmm.
the Mark II, like, it has a lot of range, but the actual shotgun blast is like, pretty sure it's like 50 range, right? Whereas like um this shrapnel bazooka seems to be like 100 range plus, dude. Like, I see it explode. Like, I thought I was actually getting shot by a shotgun rather than the a shrapnel bazooka. I
Hmm.
was like, what? So there's that too. But
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do any changes like that. What happened?
I just noticed. Good thing I recorded.
Oh, you went down.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Eh.
whoop. But
Oh no.
oh no.
Oh
But
no.
yeah. So overall, though, I think the suit's really good. So either change the other shrapnel bazookas and then just everybody needs to learn to play with it, or change this one to like maybe have more ammo, like 4 shots instead of 3, and then make it work like the other shrapnel bazooka.
I'd be
Mhm.
sad if they did that.
I
Well, that would put it on pretty much put it on par with the shotgun, right? I think most shotguns have like what 4 shots. I think 3,
Mm.
4 bullets. If they
Yeah, but
reduce the ammo count.
if it worked like the other ones, then it would be more like what it would be 2 per stun, I think.
Yeah, it would be 2. You'd have to shoot 2 times, so then you have 4 shots to get 2. But I mean, the thing is, right now you have to. I mean, I would say the other ones too would change to have 3 bullets rather than um 6 currently, or 8. Do
If
they
it was
wait?
an
Do it?
insta stun.
Yeah, if it was an insta stun, they'd have to have less ammo.
Right.
But
Oh,
that's what
for
I'm saying.
sure.
I wonder if this is a test. Be like, is this too good? But
I'll let you know when I'm crying in raid this week. I'll let you guys know.
yeah, you have to let us know specifically. I mean, again, I already played the GBO2 against it, but I mean, the other thing could be too is that people haven't learned the shoot as well. Getting around and stuff with it, comboing and
Right.
stuff. But I mean, Like I said, I had that fridge door there, and I was charging my beam. I was ready to go. I was like, "Peek me! I'm gonna shoot you!" And then all of a sudden, I'm staggered, and I'm like, "Wait, did that the shrapnel bazooka?" I'm confused, and yeah, it was because they just like shot at the wall essentially, and then it was just like, and just like the side like flurry of shrapnel just caught my fridge door, and I was staggered. There was nothing I could do. Then the other one pops around and
Oof.
does it again. It was just like, "Oh no!"
Ooh.
And then luckily I got to jump off and kind of do something to him. But yeah, it was almost straight up super bully on the O2. So I'm kind of thinking, what if something doesn't have this, like the Tetra? And I was wondering if because you got your Tetra, did you feel like it was super bully against the Tetra, or?
Yes, I like the Tetris. The Tetra seems like a fine suit, but like, especially with me getting it now, and if all these new suits coming in, I can definitely feel the age on the suit. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
the power
that's.
level's getting pushed.
I still feel the Tetra needs something else added to it, to be honest.
Yeah, like upgrading its weapon was one thing, but they need to punch it up a little bit more.
I still feel it doesn't do enough damage to warrant how a glass cannony it is. Doesn't have enough cannon. A little more cannon.
We might just need to improve the defense mechanisms of the game. Honestly,
Does that have double
like
dodge roll?
no, I don't think so.
Well, that could be a good start.
Yeah, that would be one thing. I would say give it that at
Well,
least.
I think they need to make maneuver armor better. Like maneuver armor is honestly maneuver armor's been on like it feels like it's been on a bit of a decline already. But I don't know, maybe just need to introduce level 3 and level up maneuver armor on raids a little bit more. But maybe they need to have those defense mechanisms like actually improve some so it doesn't just feel like a complete shutout. But yeah, if it takes a while to get ready. Also, I'm playing the DJ right now. I'm just messing around some in practice on my side.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting a lot of failed matchmaking on my end, so I don't know.
I'll
I might have
bring
to
up
just go
I'll
into
bring up
practice
yours if
too.
I can. But
But like with something like this, like I don't know, maybe level 3 maneuver armor should let you maneuver armor through a shotgun blast, for instance.
I was like, we're gonna get there eventually. I think that's where this
Yeah.
conversation is leading.
I think that's needed to be a thing for a while. Like the guard custom needs a skill where it doesn't just if it gets shot in the shield, it like I don't know, takes half stagger
Mhm.
build up from stuff or something. Like I just feel like, especially with raids that just rely on maneuver armor needs to be a little bit better because there are very hard counters for maneuver armor at every single cost in the game.
Yeah.
Um, the desert GM does a very good job of shutting down raids at its cost. Um, the camphor is a really good example of a mobile suit at higher cost that shuts
Yeah.
that stuff down.
The Afrits
Anti
take care
ship
of everything
rifle,
in between.
yeah, Zuda F, Ifrit, regular Zuda, Pale Rider, Zaku Sniper. Like there are like way too many. Like maneuver armor is just gets shut down so hard, so easily.
yeah, I'm
And then
definitely
for everyone
feeling
else,
it.
it's just consecutive.
Yeah,
MGs are
the
actually
DJ,
cheaper.
Well,
the
now that I'm
DJ just came
actually
out.
using maneuver armor at like 200 with like the Akai, like now that I'm
Mhm.
actually taking advantage of that, it definitely is like I'm actually feeling it these days. So yeah, I can feel you there. Like having all that extra like insta stagger cannon stuff. I mean, the knee staggers though, like I feel like that would still break it, just because those are harder to hit shots. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, every knee there most of the knee stag weapons are precision weapons with very small splash, but I would I would still like, and then I know you get like the downgrade or whatever, if you're maneuver arming, and that's good. I think that's a strong point of maneuver armor.
Mhm.
Where if you
yeah,
had the protection, it's not like the same effect. But
Well, it's like that crouch defense that supports get, right? Where you say something would knock you down, but if you actually like propped up, you would just get like a hard stagger instead, or like when stuff that would normally stagger you doesn't stagger you at all.
Right.
I feel like maneuver armor kind of got there and then just kind of stopped halfway.
Yeah, it's just because non-hard staggers, like I'm fine with hard staggers doing that. When I say level 3 maneuver armor needs to negate hard staggers,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was more just using my example earlier to say that there's a lot of stuff that already counters maneuver armor very well. But like shotguns, a weapon, like I get the idea behind it. It's a lot of separate pellets that do stagger buildup, so it punches right through it. But like I get that there's just a few suits that have that, but I don't know.
There's
It
few
just
things that
it
feel
still
worse
feels
than
a little
thinking
strong.
that you have a shotgun and you don't get enough pellets on target.
Yeah.
The DJ's pattern, even right now, sometimes has that happen. It's the bigger thing for high cost is that these suits are huge, right? But the
Mhm.
smaller form factor ones that fill in the in between
Oh, yeah.
sometimes get around all that. Especially if you're trying to hit them from like the outer bound of range. You know, if you're digging the barrel into them, then it kind of figures that you're still gonna nail that.
The beam rifle seems to hurt. Like this thing's 50 points down, but like shooting the G3 does a little over 3,000 damage with the beam rifle on the DJ, and I don't even have parts on.
Oh
Oh,
wow. Okay,
wow.
I was gonna say I have a little bit of partage on at least.
Yeah, that's
Like
pretty
I'm
gross.
hitting
I
for
think it
like
is 24
I'm
to
hitting for
Grandpa Gundam.
3,000 depending on like
That's solid.
Might be 27.
that's for raids though. Like generals is usually like 20 some odd.
Yeah, that's like 24 against Grandpa Gundam.
How much is the shrapnel doing?
Only like a couple.
By the way, if you could back up
Yeah,
a little
like
bit,
I
Emblem.
shot him right in the back. It was like 1,023. It looked like.
But yeah, if you could back up a bit prior to that, kind of curious to see what it looks like from the player end
Oh, I see.
with the shrapnel. But the
White reticule still hit. Good old shrapnel blast.
wow, that does explode very early. Holy crap! Wait. Oh, wait, no. When you fire that, that's like an actual shotgun.
Well, it shows out like a shrapnel bazooka. Like, I think it works. Oh no, it does just shoot out like a shotgun. You're right. Interesting. But it goes further than what it says. Because like I know the other one actually fires a rocket that explodes, but that one does look like it's just shooting out pellets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. And it goes further than what it says it does. Like I'm actually hitting them outside of the effective range of the weapon.
Huh. Now that's
Yeah, and
interesting.
Not
again, that's
staggering.
like what I expected the shrapnel bazooka to do from the start. Except they would do it with an even longer range before the pellets dispersed like that.
Well, yeah, I just assumed that this worked like the shot strat or the spread shrapnel works like that's already in the game where it fires a rocket round, it
Mhm.
explodes.
Yeah.
But it looks like the DJ's just was literally a shotgun.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
It's like 19 damage, 1900.
interesting. I
Yep,
wonder if
Rage,
that's
your
how
new
the.
general overlord is here.
So I
It's
mean,
Batman.
so that even though it's a clay bazooka, does it have the? I mean, I'm kind of wanting to see because I haven't actually seen the clay bazooka because I don't have a Rick Diaz or a Shiki. But yeah, I mean, it works the same as the Mark IIs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should. It does. Here, I'll switch over
So,
to mine.
but yeah,
What
that's
account am
kind
I
of
on?
interesting that
Might just
they.
switch accounts.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if they just changed the bazookas to doing that on the Mark II and the Shiki. That'd be kind of cool. And even the Diaz. That'd be pretty legit. But anyway, any other thoughts on it other than looks good?
Strong mobile suit is strong. We'll definitely be seeing the DJ going forward. I'll say that.
Yeah, if they don't do
Yeah.
anything to that shotgun bazooka, then yeah. But I'm just gonna call it now as a shotgun bazooka.
Yeah, shotguns are just such a good counter, like
The
everything in the
true
game.
strap.
Yeah.
The true shrap. There we go. But okay, cool. So you guys want to go ahead and look at the upcoming notes or this patch rather, the stuff that was in this patch's notes. There we go. Words are hard.
Okie dokie.
Seems good. I'm just loading up my
Yeah.
other accounts so I can actually use the clay bazooka with my Rick Diaz.
And again, they were really spot on with the English patch notes. So every now and then they don't put up something, but again, like they've been doing that pretty well. And I was wondering if the announcement for the clan match stuff was gonna show up, and we could start there if you guys want to. So clan matches, not till May.
Yep,
And even then,
postponed another month.
Undisclosed time in May.
Yeah, it's still to be determined if May's not also going to be delayed till later as well.
Excellent idea, Magnum.
So, wait, what I do?
I just drank something out of my bottle of water.
Oh, I was like,
Because you were drinking out of your soda.
yeah.
It's like I
But-
too am slightly parched. I think I will take a sip of my tasty beverage. There it is.
There you go. Very cool. So I'll leave that up for a second while you
Man, I
log
actually
in.
sent you a clip from stream of me playing a space match with the Rick Diaz showing off the range on the bazooka once before in the past. But you may not remember.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. But
yeah, if it does like the rocket into explosion on the Mark II, then it should be the same.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. But it's just, but they're both named Clay Bazooka, which is kind of the weird thing to see that it be named Clay Bazooka and not work like the Clay Bazooka. So I wonder if we might get a different version of the Clay Bazooka, but then keep the Shrapnel Bazooka as is. That'd be interesting.
Well, hold on. What do you mean? Like, I think it does work like the Clay Bazooka, doesn't it?
Well, no, the Mark II is called Shrapnel Bazooka.
Oh, gotcha. It
Yeah.
might
No,
say
yeah,
the same
because
thing.
it's its own like separate idea, just because it's in a different form factor.
You see it, Magnum?
Yeah, it's up. But go ahead and shoot again.
So I'm out of range right now.
Okay, yeah, never mind. But delay. Yeah, I definitely saw it. But yeah, that's pretty much the same deal. So literally, the DJ is a shotgun. So yeah, it's kind of. I want that thing. Not gonna lie, I want a Rick Diaz because I have its Clay Bazooka.
It's like 17 and some change. It's about the same amount of damage. It's like the same damage too. Yeah, so Clay Bazooka is pretty nice. You got really good range with it. It's like it's almost like a beam, like it reminds me of an A8 gun, actually. It's like a high cost A8
Yeah,
gun.
it's 300. 300 range.
I mean, it does good damage if you can hit.
100 baseline
Dude, feels like-
power.
It feels like more than 300. Like I feel like we're getting closer to 500 if you get the shrapnel blast done right.
That
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
too
strong.
far.
1905 per hit. On a regular Grandpa Gundam at 500.
Take that, Grandpa.
108 per
That's too
Vulcan,
far.
and it's 639.
Oh, there we go.
The beams.
That hits with a little bit of fall off. There's normal damage. Yeah, so you can really go outside the weapon's expected range and still get full damage on it. And like if you're just out of the normal attack range, it's not by much. So you won't even see very much fall
Yeah,
off.
like shooting it in the air, see a
Yeah.
little bit of the shrapnel, but it's more like an explosion. It's not like
Mhm.
shooting forward.
Yeah. So
I think it's just there to imply that it has like a radius upon detonation.
So now I'm curious to see if we'll see a change to the clay bazooka at the very least. If they're gonna have the same name, then
That's kind of fucked up. It's hitting a G3 at 500 for like over 2200.
oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying,
It's
dude.
pretty
Like
gross.
And then the
that's why I
stun
use it.
after the second one, like,
Yeah, that's why I want. And the Rick Diaz has a ton of range modifier too. So I mean, if you recall, he got nerfed for his range modifier.
and it's still stupid high.
Yeah, so like with a bunch of if you put like level 2
I
fire
feel
or
like
level
mine's
4
at
firing.
60 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, like you should probably be able to shred everything with that if you can just sit there and wail on somebody. It's like with for like the the Mark II and the GBO2 that I was talking about. Like
Mhm.
I'll sit there and I'll hit it like for like 2 point something every shot. Just be like, aha, take this, boom, boom, boom. So kind of gross when you can hit. It is insanely gross damage. So I've hit like 160,000. I think is my top damage with the Mark II, something like that. Pretty high. It was up there around the 150 range.
Still need to get a Mark II. Don't have one. Have everything for it, pretty much, because they always get the weapons.
Yeah, that's how I am with the Rick
Not the
Diaz and the
suit, so.
Shiki. I'm like, I've got the stuff for those. I want them. Maybe not so much the Shiki. I found out with the trial that I'm not doing well with it. But speaking of which, still didn't do anything with the trial thing
Yeah,
for PvE. Ooh,
still nothing. Kind of hoping they do it for the end at least. Change it on the way out.
yeah, so
Maybe a monthly basis kind of thing.
that'd be cool.
As long as we know,
Just came up-
right?
Or
Like,
no, it's the beginning. Yeah. I think they change it, they'd let us know though. So I don't think it's just gonna happen.
I mean, I'm hoping that it happens next week. But if it doesn't change at all next week, I don't think we're gonna see a change to like the next big event kind of thing.
that'd be kind
And
of
it
shitty.
might just turn into an event kind of situation. I'm just like, I mean, they could change, like at least change the trial part to, put in some of the new suits because, I mean, that's a great way to advertise your suit to somebody.
I agree.
Like I didn't know that I wanted certain suits till after I got them, and that's because then I got to play them. But if I could try something like this, like maybe I would like this suit, but it's a general. I'm a support player, so I'm pretty much not rolling on this suit. It would be great advertising to go into a trial mode and be like, "Oh, this thing gels with me. Here we go. Time to, maybe add a few tokens to my account to get that 10 spin off or something."
Mhm. Yeah, I think demoing suits would be a really good call on their part.
Oh yeah, for real. But
Although, if you think about it, though, who's going to watch our streams if when we get all the mobile suits, if they can just try them out? Maybe this isn't a good idea.
Then they'll just all do their
oh
own videos.
no. I mean, that would also be easier on people trying to do videos about stuff. Then I would definitely have
Yeah.
like a video each week talking about that suit and what it can do.
Rolling for the suit as a demo.
Oh my gosh. The row 4 demo.
Yeah, I think that's more of a trial for your patience and your wallet, more so than a trial of the suit itself.
Okay, so in
So
the
yeah,
update, Oh, go ahead.
Updates.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna move on too, so you're good.
Okay, so the first thing which we've talked about, the new suit. So hype.
Hype.
What else is on the page with the new suit? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. New suits in the lottery. My favorite thing here, the MRS level 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I am definitely doing another 10 spin for that thing. Got just enough tokens to do it. And yeah, can recommend. Like, that thing is gross. Got to play it at 550. Been using it today. On ground, it is insane. In space, I just did my base cheese, and yeah. Now I'm gonna start using it for ground-based cheese. But yes.
Ground-based cheese was a lot harder than space. to
Oh
me.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, you have to get there and just hope nobody looks your direction. Whereas space, you can kite them around their own base and use their own base as a wall. But
Also, since we're on updates, can we go ahead and address the elephant in the room, which is the banner for the step up banner for the week?
okay, yeah, we can move to that if we want to. Well, here, let's go ahead and say the lottery stuff. GPO2 FB or GPO1 FB, GPO2 FB. Lol. But the GPO1 FB got a 600 and the Peasant Dodge got a 550. So, can highly recommend the wait, sorry, we're not talking tickets here, but if you get the O2, I could definitely say spin for the O2. Then spin for the FB if you're a big space guy. Like, there are some crazy people that play the FB, and
So the Xiong.
yeah.
Also, on that same note, though, I would say if you want those suits, but you're also looking for Zeta stuff, I would probably more suggest to use the step up banner. Like, you don't get to level 2s, but the guaranteed suits for the most part are not bad.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the other thing too. Yeah. So let's go ahead and just get into that then, because then I'll bring the question back to that then. Which one you guys would probably say to do? So the step up banner, which is we were wrong on what we were thinking this would be.
There was no information, so definitely guesses.
Yeah.
I think it would have been nice if it did it the way we were mentioning. But,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I was
um,
like, I was trying to think how UI wise they would do that. But figured they would just like give it, each one would have their own banner and list out all the suits or something. But
yeah, that could
so
be a thing.
at this point though, we have Gundam, Stardust Memory, and Zeta. And those are each of the steps, and get an 11th suit. So it's a 10 spin step up each time. And then in step 1, we have the Gundam, the Zeong, and the Zoc. Yeah, good suits. I mean, the Gundam, they always try to keep it at least solid. I mean, for the most part.
It's a very expensive GM command.
Pretty much.
It doesn't like the Zoc. I mean, it's the Zoc.
And then,
Still
yeah,
haven't gotten to
Zoc
try
would
the
be-
Xeon yet, but I'm glad that I got it.
Oh, yeah, congrats on that, by the way.
For sure. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, if you don't have it already, like, you get a 1 in 3 chance of getting one of the best spacesuits in the game.
yep.
So it's not bad in that regard.
For me, it's my best spacesuit. So I have the FB, and again, like, there are some people who are crazy with it, but it definitely has a skill cap for the FB. So if your choice is between that or the Zeong, I would probably recommend the Zeong myself. My 10 spin choice though is for the Zoc or the MLRS level 2, and Zoc should be hitting the ticket shop, and also the Zeong. I guess we could point that out too. The Zeong should be hitting the ticket shop. What is it? Was it before the MLRS? Was the Zeong before it? It was, wasn't it? I want
I
to say it
think
was.
so, yeah.
So
I believe.
Zeong's within 8 weeks, and the Zoc should be hitting just after 8 weeks. and 8 weeks is just the guesstimate at what they're putting in the ticket shop. So, because it was 8 weeks after the Stardust Memory stuff started coming out that the MLRS got put in. Which, back to our previous conversation, was the MLRS. It took 2 months before they actually put in a starting 550 support. Just saying.
Lol.
But
The support struggle is real right now.
yeah. So I'm hoping they. So far, it looks like they learned from their mistake at the very least, because we didn't get the level 3 Jaeger till like almost a month to a little over a month later. So that's cool at least. This one they put in, what was it, the second week? We got the level 4 Jaeger in the lottery, like that.
Something like that.
But so as far as those suits, that would be probably the choices I would make. So since the Young would be coming, and the Zoc as well is coming around 8 weeks, they'll hit the ticket shop. If you have the tickets and you want to save them for that, then maybe do the FB spin or the MLRS spin. But speaking of FB level 1 though, in the Stardust Memory stuff, you can get it there. So in step 2, you got 60 tokens, and you can spend those. You get one of your 11th suit is the GPO1, the GPO1 FB, GPO2 Beam Bazooka, and the Stamen. I mean, all those suits are really solid. So you can't really go wrong there.
Yeah, the only one I don't have at this point would be the FB. I still really want to get that just for like the crazy shit we were talking about before.
Oh yeah.
It may be pushed back though. They may not go off of its special release date and use its normal lotto release time.
Oh yeah, no, that one might not hit the ticket shop.
Indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now the FB, I don't know when that's going to hit the ticket shop. That could be, who knows when.
Yeah, it could be soon, or it could be within it could be months down the line. It's hard to say.
That's true.
Probably give you another chance at the prototype beam rifle for it at least.
And the Stamen here in this case is in the ticket shop right now, so there's that. So if you have them all,
for
random research and tickets. So
at the very least, though, like if you want Zeta suits, I think taking the hit with the tickets on the second step of the banner is probably fine. Like even if you have the GPO suits, the Zeta suits are so pushed, and every single Zeta suit, except for like maybe the Hyakushiki on the list, is very strong.
I'm hearing people like the double dodge roll change with it, so
I think that's good. I mean, I'm not saying like this Dashiki is like terrible.
yeah.
I'm just saying like out of the suits they listed, it's probably the weakest out of the group.
Yeah, that's kind of like I would have to say the Gundam's probably the weakest on the first pull there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the GPO1, just the normal one, probably would be the weakest. Although, I mean, with the buffs, I mean, it feels good now too. So it's not a bad option. But so I'm glad they didn't put anything on there that was just a bad option, which I felt like what was the other step up they did where you could get, was that the first week?
Depending on who you ask, the Zoc fills that category.
Oh,
that's true.
Feels bad, man. Yeah, that's one of the suits I want, dude. Like, that thing is a beast. Just knock down raids coming at you, no big deal.
I like the Stamen feels a pretty good ease of access slot. It also has a better sub option than the one, but like I feel like the one might have higher damage potential, but maybe evens out. It's hard to say.
And then, I mean, again, we've pretty much talked about the Mark II and stuff a lot. Super Gundam, by the way, if you get the Super Gundam, that is a fantastic space support. That is one of my, I mean, that is
Just
my go-to
barfing
space.
out damage.
Oh yeah.
Nothing drips damage. Maybe it'll let it transform into the pseudo flight mode at some point.
One can only hope.
Please.
But yeah, and there's kind of final touching on it's the last part. So the Zeta banner gets you access to let's see, the Mark II, the Hyakushiki, the Rick Diaz. What's the last suit? I've got the Japanese one
Super
up.
Gundam.
Oh yeah, right, Super Gundam, right. So no Zetas and no Hyzaks for you Hyzak fans, but like we were saying, all those suits are super solid. And I mean, if I didn't have a Mark II, like that's literally like a shoot for the moon, land among the stars kind of situation. Like if you really wanna if you want like a limited chance at a pool of solid mobile suits, like if you get to Mark II, GG. But if you don't, I mean, you get like 3 other solid mobile suits, and then the Rick Diaz is no slouch either.
Yeah.
And if you're a space player, I would say also getting the Super is GG as well.
For
Like
sure.
that thing, you can decimate a base and you can throw out so much damage with that thing. It's pretty much if you play Hyzak custom, it's that only the beam always penetrates, which is gross.
Craigasm.
So
Like I was happy that I got the Xeon, but I don't know if I'd go cheese steps because everything on that list for the other two, I have everything but the FB. I have everything but the Mark II. And if it's gonna be based on chance, then it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I was gonna do either the 2 steps and go for the 01 or the 03, and then hoping to get the Zoc the first step, or just go for the MLRS level 2, and I chose my MLRS level 2 just because of how awesome the MLRS level 1 is.
Right.
So definitely loving having that suit. So
Yeah, it's a bully. It does a lot of work now.
oh yeah.
The Vulcans are so premium. Just anything that can punch through like flight mode, transfer and I'm talking about like floaty mode, not like wave riders or transform. Like if you punch through flight, transform, maneuver armor, like any of that stuff, like just naturally to suit, it's a good suit.
Oh yeah, that's just money right now with
Yeah.
anything from 400 and up. I mean, well, even if you want to count the flight test at 350.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, 400 and up, you see a flight or something that can fly like that, or have something that has good maneuver armor just everywhere these days. So,
Oh yeah.
like, that's why the G line. Didn't you get the G line standard level 3?
Maybe
I want to say you got that.
I got a G line standard during my rolls last night, but
Yeah.
I can't remember what level it was.
Okay. Yeah. But like, for instance, that suit, that thing just mows down stuff in the air, dude. Like,
it feels good. It feels like it has more
Tends to fly a
purpose these
Gatling.
days.
Just don't
yeah.
get too caught up in your Gatling smashing. You might get punished.
Oh, it sounds so good too, though. Like the sound on the Gatling Smasher is
Yeah. Double the
on
smashy.
point. But yeah. So that's that one. Then of course I got the banner for the MRS and the FB level 2s. And and we mentioned the clan match thing again. Postponed to be determined around May. So I'm
Maybe, maybe not.
maybe.
GPO1 FB's emblem was added to the ticket shop. Axaku Commander level 2 and its respective weapons has been added to the DP store.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Amuro's pilot suit is a part of the DJ thing. So I guess I do want to just wrap up this segment on what you were saying earlier, like which banner we think is the best to
Well, and then would you recommend spending the tickets, I guess? But yeah, which banner do you think? Do you think it should step up or going for the level 2s?
Step up was pretty solid for me. The other spin that I did that actually got me the DJ was just regular banner though. I didn't really bother with the level 2s.
Oh yeah, there's that choice as well. So out of all three, I guess.
Yeah. Well, since you said that, I was gonna wait and say neither. Just spin on the DJ because it's better than all. It's probably better than all those suits except for like some of the Zeta ones.
It's
Um,
true.
but I would say spend like unless you really want those suits. Like if you need any of those suits that are in that list, like if especially if it's the Zeta stuff. If you're like planning on going to the spinning rolling more than 3 times of multi, do the step up banner. You can still get the DJ and a level 2 new suits from that step up banner. But if you're just rolling for the sake of rolling, go for the DJ banner. The bonus chance on the DJ is definitely worth it. And this suit looks like it's going to be very strong. It has a shotgun. I mean, it has a shotgun and a main stagger. Like, GG. It's a
Yeah,
general.
like, and that shotgun is the it goes through the maneuver armor stagger, so it's a build up stagger. So you're just like, boom, and then straight into the beam combo, straight into a melee. Like you can, yeah, from downtown.
The
just
DJ literally
wreck
counters
somebody.
itself.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Which is very similar to our experience with the detector.
Yeah.
It's a stun machine, and if there's a standoff, whoever gets the
Yeah, first stun wins with that thing. So yeah, and then as far as the ticket shop stuff, I mean DP, if you got the DP for the Agzaku command, if it's just lying around, sure, but if you're trying to make a choice, I might say go for the BD2 that they just put in rather than the Agzaku command level 2. Just because it's a bit harder to use for its downswing. His downswing is pretty clunky, but it does the damage. They've buffed the double heat hawk like what, twice now? 3 times?
Mhm.
So yeah, they're gonna keep giving that damage till somebody's like, hey, this is broken now. So I'm just waiting for that. I mean,
yeah,
I've been using it
it kind of
already.
started out bound after we started getting higher costs, so they can push it with that suit for a little while.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. It's almost like a meta discussion, but I was just kind of thinking about it. Do you think the game would be in a better state? Like, let's just use a high cost example. It might not be best for all suits. So let's just imagine the DJ's out right now, right? Would you think the game would be in a better state if we had the roles changed on certain suits? So, like, let's say the DJ is a raid, and we have the Hyakushiki's a general. It's like just imagine a team comp where it's 3 Hyakushikis as generals, and the DJ is a raid. Well, you know, the supports are just screwed as usual. Like, do you think the DJ being a like in just and like we know like the DJ is good. You would probably run multiple DJs or something. But like if like the Hyakushiki was the 3 of suit or like suits like it, and like a powerhouse like the DJ or Mark II was like a one of actual raid, you think they would be in a better spot compared to like there being like 2 to 3 of them running around per match?
Can be interesting. I wouldn't mind that just to see how it would go, especially for the Shiki in itself. See it with extra survivability,
Yeah.
seeing what other
I
kind of
mean,
combos and things they can pull off.
right? Because I mean, I think in a solo situation they aren't bad, but like I'm starting like the higher level suits, kind of like especially for generals, like raids aren't keeping up too well. Like the
Yeah.
Gaplant has it pretty good with the little like melee poise control thing.
Yeah.
But like the Hyakushiki, except for having just now getting a second dodge roll, honestly feels pretty vanilla.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it does.
Like
Yeah, if it wasn't for that downswing being a be pretty
mhm.
much just another Mark II.
I mean, if you want to think about it, I mean, the Gian Eos has a multi-hitting downswing. I mean, is it just a raid Gian Eos without a rocket launcher? I mean, it doesn't have as much of a wide swath, but like
Yeah,
if
you can make that kick travel though. not for the same length, like width wise or like circumference wise, but
Right.
if you have a decent motor on you, you can swing that bitch around, just with less reach.
But do you guys think the game would be a little bit more like I don't know, stable, but maybe what the feel of the suit to be like? Because like imagine the DJ was a raid. It has that like 1v1 winning preference. Because like a DJ against a Mark II, I think is going or a DJ against the Hyakushiki with their current typings, I think is at a overwhelming advantage, even with it having a double dodge roll. Um, the
Well,
DJ
here's a
has maneuver armor, dodge roll, and stuff like that to push in with. So the Hyakushiki single stun, which is the beam
Rifle
rifle,
or the goop.
does that have a goop as well?
Yeah, it's got the goop.
Oh shoot, I guess I don't play the Hyakushiki enough. I forget. Yeah, so I guess its double stagger options are completely negated by its maneuver armor. And then the Hyakushiki's maneuver armor is shut down by the shotgun. And after it rolls out, you have the option to follow up with a beam rifle shot when the maneuver armor is down. Um,
And then just dig in with your saber. So
yeah. So like I don't know. What do you think, Magnum?
in that scenario, not sure. But as far as just like swapping roles of things, kind of interestingly, one of the things that a friend of mine, he was kind of surprised that like the Jaeger was a support.
As support.
Yeah.
Well, that's just from a specs aspect, though, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was surprised, like, what the fuck? The specs on a suit are yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. After playing in the game, the Jaeger feels. The Jaeger makes sense.
I
It's
mean,
almost
it
like
feels
a
fine, but I
hybrid
mean,
general.
like when
I
it
think it
first came
makes
out,
sense
though.
because it just does its well. But I could
Yeah,
easily
that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say.
agree.
Like,
another role.
like before the buffs, it was kind of bleh. But then the quality of life came, and now it's just like you do a crazy amount of damage, you can make it work really well. But the thing is, like, as far as they, what if it was a raid, essentially like the Gyogug Marine.
It's interesting because it feels like it set a precedence for like what the command type was going to be like, and it just fell short of that.
Oh yeah, and then the command
Well,
type
if it was a
now.
raid, it would just be the Gerbera Tetra.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was about to bring up. Is now we've got the Gyobera Tetra, which is pretty much just the raid version, and you can kind of see that right now, and it feels like
And with the
it's
poke.
a little bit less. I mean, even with the buffs, it still feels like it's weaker in that role than as a support. And the Tetra has speed, and then you can do some pretty nice damage, but the damage on the beam is actually weaker. So would they actually nerf the? Is there a change? So when you change that though, are you going to take the suit stats as is, or are we going to start messing with their stats too? Because, like for instance,
Right.
the MLRS, right? It's a O2, but it has less health by a decent amount and almost no melee resistance, whereas the beam bazooka has like what 26 on all of them and has like 2,000 more health than the support version of it. So
That's strange. So it does have more health. Usually supports
yeah,
have a pretty high health pool.
here I'll go ahead.
That's interesting. Because like they like pre-release nerfed its HP and it still has more than the MLRS.
So it has the GBO2 beam bazooka has 16,000 and the support version has 14,000. Yep, it is.
Interesting. Okay.
And then it has it's 24 resistances across the board and 26 26 8 for the MLRS. So
That's actually a pretty notable difference. I wonder where the rest of the stats go to. Maybe the shooting correction or something.
I mean, you got range boost, which is 45 for the MLRS, and the melee is 10, and then on the beam bazooka you have 30 and 22 melee.
You said 45 and 10 for the other one.
45 and 10, yeah.
That's 55. And what was the beam bazooka? You said
30 and 22.
okay, so it's 55 compared to 52. That makes a bit more sense. It's like it's the spread is about the same, but the defenses like is just weird. They were just like, nope, no melee defense for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I
Less
mean,
HP, no melee defense.
you're a support, so you can't do well with melee, but you at least get the downswing.
Yeah,
that is
because your
BS.
priority would suck regardless.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the speed too. Again, I was surprised that it actually had the same speed, but the thrust is much better, of course, with the beam bazooka. So that was
All
something
that
that was
heavy
kinda
rocket gear.
Yeah, but normally like supports just get shafted when it comes to speed. So it's kind of interesting to see that we get 115 and 115.
Yeah, I wish I could say like it's the same mobile suit, but that really doesn't mean much, right?
Yeah, right. So again, 2,000 less health though was one thing that I was just like, wait, really, what? But I mean, you're playing back. You've got so much range. You know, probably getting hit less.
For sure.
Should, but so I get the balancing of it. But I mean, it's just kind of interesting. Also, just it's kind of funny going back and forth and seeing the long range mod to close range and just seeing pretty much getting alternated. You have 18 close and then 18 long on the MRS. But yeah, overall though, I mean, for that example, that's kind of the closest one I could think of. I guess the
And
other
honestly,
closest
like,
one might be the full armored Gundam if you were gonna check like general to support to raid, but then you're talking about the Thunderbolt, which has shields and stuff, so that's
right.
a little weird. But
Yeah, and like I would say too, in the cases that I'm thinking of, I was more of meant like suits that kind of blur the lines under roles.
oh
Like
yeah,
the MLRS feels like a support, and the GPO2 feels like a raid. But like honestly, I feel like the DJ could cover either of the two
both. Yeah,
roles
you could have
between
picked
general or
whatever.
raid easily. Same for the Mark II.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean they have like there are honestly some cases where like the air quote general suits feel more specialized than some of the other raids, especially now. Like beforehand, the raids felt like different and special because they got like kind of neat little mechanics. The DS has the instant knockdown shotgun. The exam suits for the longest time were raid only. So you had these like again high powered just kind of like murder machines that had these like special mechanics that made them not general. But I feel like they're splashing too hard into the specialties of the other classes. Kind of just talk about what we were talking about earlier. Generals are just getting. I feel like generals are just getting too good.
Yeah, they can just
oh
tap
yeah,
into everything.
Mhm.
And one person, someone might say, "Well, duh," because they're generals. Like it would make sense if they weren't as good at it, but when they're committing them to those sub, but just at a different typing, that's a
yeah. That's
But I digress. I'm kind of just bringing us back into a conversation we had earlier.
I mean, we could.
That I think about it.
Well, if we wanna actually go more into that, because there is another question I would like to bring up. That was when they were doing the balancing stuff. Because I
Right.
forget, that's what tell me that, and that'll remind me. But real quick, just to finish up the this patch, for the ticket shop, if people were gonna save their tickets or spend their tickets, what would you say for the Stamen and the Gotcha? Like, I would say for the Stamen, it was pretty much a staple for the longest time as being the best general. Until eventually the Mark II came out, and then the GPO1 got its buff. But I mean, it was pretty much the go-to general if you had it in the meta at 550. And then, I mean, if you're really feeling froggy, I'd say maybe go for the Gotcha. But that's my take on the two suits. What do you guys think about those? People were trying to decide whether to spin their tickets or save them.
Definitely to Stamen.
Yeah, statement seems pretty obvious. Gacha is an interesting novelty, and it's definitely coming time with good at them. But the statement, as we were talking about earlier, just has a bigger ease of use.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you're trying to get a really good suit and you need the level 1 Stamen, go for it. It is fantastic. But the gotcha though, if you're like I said, if you're feeling froggy, I will say though, it was kind of surprising how much it was used in ranked. Like I thought that was really cool in the first or the second ranked, I guess technically. That was my first. Um, like seeing how much that was used was kind of I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's more of a kind of like what you say, Gustav, is more of a novelty kind of suit. Like, not bad though.
Yeah, and just kind of like we touched on earlier when we were discussing like the different steps. The Stamen is such is an ease. I feel like has a better ease of access um, than like the GPO1, and it has a better sub option. Like
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the Gashia, Gashia, whichever translation of it you want to use, is a fun like suit that could definitely like reward high level play. But I think for like the general player, the GPO3 is just a really strong suit to use.
Oh yeah. If you're trying to make a choice between the two, I pretty much wouldn't even act like the gotcha
Yeah, it's
exists.
a no-brainer.
Yeah, like but yeah, it's just in general, just describing the two. Gotcha's kind of cool. It can't, it's not a bad suit, but it's kind of cool. And then the Stamen though is just like top tier, off the charts as far as how good it was when it first came out. So yeah, but anything else for those two?
No, that's about
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Cool,
Get
cool.
the GPO3.
Okay, so now we'll change this to like meta discussion or something because
Yeah,
um
the Gashia mains are
let's see,
screaming and hammer gun.
meta talk. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. For real though, I'll say at least the hammer gun knee stagger, it's pretty crazy. That's
And
pretty
shooting
much
flying suits out
why.
of the air is very satisfying.
Oh my god, just chucking them by.
Oh my gosh, though, for real, like
It's like a long-range fly swat.
the range on it though is like that is kind of gross. And apparently you can actually get a little more range out of it if you
Like,
aim.
remember those
It
sticky
drops a little
hands that
bit.
you would get as toys, and you just like whip them out and like smack people in the face? That's just what that is.
That's
More
exactly
painful.
what it is. Oh man. But yeah, it's a long range hammer. Weird.
Hyper is literally just a hyper hammer gun.
Yeah, it's a hyper hammer gun. It's crazy though. Like it's funny. The first time I actually saw how far that I was like, oh, this is cool. It shoots it, and I didn't even pay attention to the range. And then like you're like, oh, this
Oh
is
shit.
far. And then apparently there's a little like drop off that it does before it starts coming back.
Yeah, so people were doing it from on high, and it was for when it first came out.
Yeah, so you can actually get some extra range out of it too. So I think it'd be gross, but I mean that's pretty much it's kind of got that one trick, and then you got a nice little missile build up stagger to a punch for closer range stuff. But yeah. Anyway, so meta talk though. So they were talking about changing the raids, right? And one of the things that that I saw that I was like, was when they were talking about, I think it was at 200. I'd have to go back, but if you guys remember it all, like at 200, maybe even getting rid of roles, they need to. Was that the cost that they were talking about it?
Getting rid of
Yeah, like they were here. I'll go back a couple of patches to see. But this is when they were doing all the raid changes. They were talking about at lower cost, if they have to, they might even like reducing the effectiveness of
Of the triangle
the
damage.
triangle damage. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, so not getting rid of it, reducing it. Sorry.
Mm. I feel like that's what they want to do, right?
I just wonder if
Like
across the board.
the interesting thing is that because does Titanfall even have like a rock paper scissors kind of thing with their mechs in terms of like just straight up damage advantage or like type advantage?
I have no idea.
I don't exactly know.
I
I
feel
think
like
it's
the
just
answer
straight
is
up.
no.
I'm pretty sure it's
I
no.
don't think so either.
Like if I had to take a educated guess,
You know,
or
like I'm not
betting
saying it's the
guess,
end all be all, but I'm just saying it's been done before. And if you want to talk about a paradigm shift, well, that's one hell of a shift. It's just diminishing that in order to make these suits more flexible without having to worry about their role much.
yeah, that. I mean, I wonder if we're just getting to that point.
I feel like we're on the cut. Like if they actually do bite the bullet, that'd probably be somewhere around the lines of what they would try.
If they did, I would wonder if they're gonna buff like some of the damage of just, like is it 50% right now? Is what it is? What's the percentage
Something
on
like
that?
that. Actually, not super sure.
Just okay. I'm gonna say 50% for now. I don't know if that's the number, but this is just an example, just to clarify here. But let's just say whatever they change it by, like if they change it to where it's like from 50%, they then make it a 20%, but then they buff all damage across the board by like 10%, right? Something like that. I think that would be fine if they did something along those lines, so that way there's something to compensate for time to kill kind of situation. But I mean, they might have to do it a suit by suit basis, just because the generals would be the problem child there of that one. Because again, you're for supports and raids, time to kill would definitely go up rather than go down, or rather than closer to staying the same. Just because you're gonna have one on each team, maybe two every now and then. Whereas generals, though, you still got three, and they're still killing generals normally, so they already don't have anything. So getting a buff to their weapons damage would be a little awkward. So, I mean, there would be that kind of logistics they'd have to figure out.
Right.
But yeah, like I could see squish and the percentage difference just being a thing, and then them worrying more about balancing the suit rather than figuring out what spot it's going in, then balancing this, then doing that B, C, whatever. Then it's just like, okay, here we go. It's this because it makes sense, but it's still a good suit that you can play if you feel like it fits. I don't know. I kind of like that more because then there's none of this. Oh, I see two reds. I'm yeeting out of the game.
Yep.
And then it's more about, are you good with that suit? And are you good at, is that your suit to play with?
Mm.
And that's what I would
And I
like to
mean,
see
like
more
when
than.
you see that happen in position, that's always what I say. You better be damn good in that suit. If you're gonna double up, you better be amazing.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, are you good in general? Let's hope.
But yeah, what do you guys think on that? Like in that regard, do you think they should do a squish on the advantage numbers, or?
Right now, I think it's hard to say because honestly, I feel like if they did it, it would make more sense at higher cost. Because I feel like I feel like 350 and stuff like the low, like maybe at low cost, like the Akai is really the only predominant. Like the Akai and the Akai and Tentacle Monster and the GM MSV ground type whatever,
GM ground assault
and
or
like
whatever.
it's yeah, and like in some cases the light armor. But I'm not going to include the light armor. To say like those three suits, I think make the raids okay, and I mean the goof itself is fine too. It makes up for its shortcomings in like raw damage.
Mm.
Um, but like I would still like more diversity, I would say. Like, I feel like the triangle kind of is fine at those costs. Because I mean, especially with suits like the Goof and now the Akai and the Agu guy, like the triangle, especially for the Agu guy, the triangle might as well not even fucking exist. As far as
Yeah.
that thing's concerned, it's like I advantage against every mobile suit in the game
Oh my gosh.
with
Like
these tentacles.
just by their properties and what they're able to do, they negate it without having to change anything.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
that's
And then
essentially how the Mark II feels. Like
Hmm.
so yeah, I think the middle stuff I can agree with that. I feel like I mean, I know some people who would argue that the did you say the DS? Is
not
that
yet. I was talking about I started for lower
okay.
cost suits.
Yeah.
But like, and when we start getting into like 300, like to 350, and like I'll say like up to 450, I think for the most part the balance is okay. There are some suits that could definitely use a bit more love, but like I think as long as you know what you're doing and you play well, um, you can outplay other mobile suits. There are some things like the shotgun, the Efreet, and the DS have a bit of an advantage with their shotguns, in some cases, but like it's more frustrating than it is like just inherently broken because I'll give the fact that there's a bit of a minority on shotgun wielding suits. And I guess since it's 450, the camphor falls into that category as well. Um, but I really think right now
I would say the
the issues come
Comfort is
from
balanced though.
yeah, the comfort doesn't feel
Because
too
it's
bad.
glass
Like
cannon. Like it is
yeah,
legit glass
exactly.
cannon. Like if I'm playing a raid and I run into that thing and I'm like, "Oh, I got the drop on you. You're dead."
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. It's either you get to drop on the camper and you delete it, or it catches you first and you just die um,
Yeah.
instead. So,
So,
like, I think that's fine. It's just more of like the pushed suits that are starting to get these multiple powerful stun options that I think kind of make it to where if you get caught, like the Mark II is going to fuck you up
oh
if you
yeah.
get caught by it. The
The
DJ is
striker,
going to do that now too.
yeah, the
Yeah, Striker Custom.
siege is
Um, if it catches you, you're probably fucking dead.
yeah.
Um,
Thanks for saying custom. Um the I will say as much as I hate to say it, we finally got one supports. We got to win. Everybody, yeah, woo. But no, we got the detector. Like that is our kind of BS mobile suit. Like speaking of the comfer, uh, I staggered one. I see him dodge roll. I'm like, oh, look at him go. There it is. Oh, staggered,
You
staggered,
thought you were getting away, ouch.
stagger. Oh, I killed him.
no.
Oh, I didn't even get to stagger him 4 times. Okay, like hitting a comfer though, as a detector, you're just
Hey,
like.
hitting anything,
Oh yeah,
hitting the
that thing
comfort with anything.
chunks. Oh, hitting the comfort with anything, but the detector chunks though. I'm surprised how much it chunks for how much CC it has too. That's the other
Yeah.
crazy part about it. Like,
I think that's the one of their examples. We can have this be a little goofy just because it doesn't have as many options to escape. To escape means to fight in that suit.
oh yeah. But the but yeah, there are some suits that have there are their trouble suits, but I would say like the Efreet, the normal Efreet, I think it's pretty fine. It's I mean the shotguns are their own kind of problem, but I think the Efreet itself is fine. The Efreet DS I could agree with has maybe a little too much damage. Just a little bit.
They nerfed it. I think the DS is honestly in a better place
Oh yeah,
now. Instead of
it's in a good place. Now
getting
it's
like
kind of more of the glass cannon
mm,
kind of side of things.
well that too, but like you unless like you're up
It's
against a
also just not
standard
very
gun
fast.
cannon, that too. But unless you're up against a standard gun cannon, you really can't one shot supports in one go
Mm,
around quite as well as you used to. Like you're pretty
you have
much
to hit the
you're pretty
down.
much like
You have to hit the downswing, all of it. You have to hit both hits.
yeah, and like even with that, you probably still have to follow up with a tackle afterwards to do to push off the rest of the extra damage.
I'm
Um,
I'm pretty sure. as far as what I play, I should say.
Mm.
Pretty much most of the suits I play, you will kill unless you just miss the downswing. But I also don't put as much melee armor on as I used to, just because it kind of was at that point there wasn't much of a point.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I don't know what supports are really building up, but I know like my builds have less melee parts or a preference on like movement and speed. So usually, like if I one shot one, it's because like either I got like decent shotgun spread damage, and I like was on with everything, and I did a follow up tackle afterwards, and like you're not doing it to the GM cannon too. That thing's a freaking HP house.
oh yeah, well
Yeah.
it's mainly a resistance house too. Like it's got HP and it's got all the resistances to. Like I do less damage to it than a raid when it comes to my Goku or why did I just say Goku? What in the world? Dom Barrage.
Mm.
It's a very chunky boy.
But yeah, Goku Barrage, let's go, boys.
Dick.
But yeah, the Dom Barrage though, like I do less damage though. I can't even like that's just what its ballistics resistance is like gross. That is insane. But yeah, that thing has type advantage against its own type. Like yeah, it's crazy.
If I can't win, we're all losing.
But yeah, we even tested it though against so you ended up killing me. You won that bet, by the way. I don't think we ever brought that back up. But you won that bet on the Gan killing the gun cannon. I thought it could survive a full combo, but a lot of times there's something that misses. But yeah, like straight up getting to test out a full combo on the gun cannon too. It can kill it, that's for sure.
You want to try that again now? Now that they've buffed it some more.
Ooh,
It has more damage now. We can maybe
oh,
let's try one less confirm.
that's right. Oh
You
no, you
never
just
know.
do the poke into the downswing. Ooh, oh no,
Oh no.
Oh no, 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 no.
no. Yeah. So that we could try that again. It was still a pretty good fight though. Afterwards, I learned that the beams ready up so fast that like switching out of them, I could just stagger you twice before you could get back to me, which was kind of cool. That was a little neat extra thing I learned. But you overheat your beams at that point. But overall though, I don't know. Do you think there's just a few cases of that? My problem is that there's so many 200 generals compared to everything else. But at 200, generals are just all the same. Like arguably you have, and I mean we've talked about this before, but to just shorten it, you have like what 6 of the same suit, the Kamuf, and then the FS. Like
Pretty much.
it,
Yeah.
the other 6
The
just
lower
have
costs
a
are
couple of
very
different
vanilla,
stats.
and the differences come from stats more so
Yeah.
than loadouts.
So like you pick which stats you want to prioritize more, and then you pretty much do the exact same thing as every other suit there. Then you
Right.
have the FS. I've actually been liking the Desert Zaku recently too. So I guess I'm at that one.
Anti-stealth is nice for tentacle monsters.
Yeah, but I mean, still, once I realized what anti-stealth actually does, I don't know. It's kind of it's okay, I guess.
Right.
But about the only one that's really good is the gunner anti-stealth, like because then you can share with your team, like, hey, there's a health bar on your screen now, go.
Right.
But the general anti-stealth only helps the general player. I'm glad we tested that out. That was another good one we did.
I don't know. I'll say like honestly, in some cases, that's all I really need. Like when the Axe Zaku was getting a lot more play, it damn near made the Pixie unplayable. Because like as soon as that player knew that you were lurking around, they literally would just hunt you the rest of the
Oh
game.
yeah, I guess that's
And
true.
I feel like I feel like in that case, you would just play the Desert GA or the Desert Zaku the exact same way.
Yeah, probably.
'Cause, I mean, you're not letting your team down. Like it's not even like you're not even doing your team a disservice by
Yeah,
keeping one of
because
the players locked down.
it is your job to actually go after that
Right.
suit. So if you're playing it and using it, then yeah.
And I mean, at best, you get to do your job. At worst, you're just another general.
Well, and at best, you also get to be like, oh, you got maneuver Akai? You got maneuver armor? I got wrist rockets.
Yeah.
I got my wrist rockets. No big deal. Oh my gosh.
A lot of options.
You know, I say it like that, like I almost sound salty about it. But no, the one
Did you
that's
experience
really
wrist
annoying.
rockets as an Akai?
I mean, I have, but the thing is, I don't really fear that as much as I fear the amount of Camuffs that are being played again now because the Akai is so good. I don't know whether it's that
it's
or
like it's never went away
people are
either.
playing it.
Yeah, I don't think it has.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, it never really went away, but like, I just,
People
I don't
starting
know.
to call it the gun, the anti-simp rifle.
Oh no!
Oh no! Who in the
No.
world?
Yep.
Oh my god!
As a raid player, I feel attacked, but you know, I feel
Oh,
like the simp starter one's wielding the anti-simp rifle.
that's funny. Oh, what was I even saying now? Oh yeah, but yeah, I feel like maybe it's just where I'm playing the Akai now a lot. I honestly should replace the Zaku cannon emote for the sumo Akai
That guy.
at this point. But
Have it doing like the little sumo stomp. It's all crouched down.
yes.
Do you
That'd
need
be
it? Do I need to give you GE pills, Magnum? The dancing Akai.
But yeah, but either way, maybe it's just where I'm playing it more. But now I notice that there are just like there's a Kamuff on the enemy team every game, and then
Oh
before
yeah,
the buff.
when you take that fucking knee, I bet they start noticing them real quick, don't you?
Oh yeah, like before the buff and just a little bit after the buff. I want to say like I didn't really see one on every enemy team, and then
That's because it's a support. You didn't care that they existed for the most part. But I promise you, they've been there the whole time.
yeah. But I want to say okay. Well,
If anything, they were just free points.
here's my example though. Here's where I'm
I
kind of
gotta
getting
have a
it.
dodge roll, lol. Oh, like, oh, he put me to a knee real quick. I barely took any damage. I'll murder you now.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Pretty much. It was kind of annoying though when there was like when it first came out and there was like 5 of them and then it also had really good health and then it also had its shield that has a hitbox of like the GBO2 shield for some reason. Like yeah, I hate that shield by the way. Like that shield.
It's literally like a double shield.
Yeah, like the hitbox of that thing is just dumb. Like if I've hit its open shoulder, it's like shield, and I'm like, what?
Like, what do you
I
mean?
cannoned its open shoulder. What
Look, the camo is just ready. It carries around a coffin to put its enemies into.
Oh
It
gosh.
slowly raids.
Okay, so we got the coffin in the fridge door now.
Yeah.
But yeah, but my point though is like I had my number of wins to losses with the Akai pretty much was all wins except for 2 games, and the 2 games I had losses on was because I had a duo queue that I queued into that was using 2 Zaku 1s, and then I was also the Akai, so we had 3 raids in a 5v5. So, oops.
Double whoops.
So we almost won the second time around, but then, like I said before, I think I talked about this the last podcast, but then me and like 26 ended up queuing into both of them like 5 games in a row and just wrecking those guys. So I got my points back, I guess. But they kept playing like the weirdest like 2 suits, and it was kind of funny. They did a bomb plant one game, and they both went and stood and watched the bomb blow up while we decimated
Both
their
of them?
team in a 3v5.
Shoot, man.
Yeah, like
I hope we enjoyed that freaking 3v5. Yeah.
yeah, that's
It was so determined. To
So
have it happen.
these 2, I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, like Yeah, that's what I was stuck with, and then we just punished them in whatever team they were on, like for 5 games in a row until they stopped queuing,
Nice.
and so it kind of feels bad all around for that one. I was like,
At
after
the
a
same time,
while,
like with some of the goofy shit they were doing, it's almost like me it's time to stop posting. So there's just it's time to stop queuing.
yeah. So they finally stopped, and then I was just like, I kind of feel bad. I feel like we went a little too hard into those guys. Oh well.
No, they had it coming. They're doing dumb shit. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I'll be that guy. Like, they're like doing dumb stuff.
I mean,
Honestly.
like, yeah. Like they were just
Yeah.
2 Zaku ones. Like, oof. Like you're asking for it there.
Like if you do clown shit and you can do it well, then that's fine. But if you get punished, just sit back and take it.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. Like I'm like, okay, I probably should swap from the Akai, but it is the Akai, and I've been doing really well. I haven't lost yet. Let's go. And that was like the first 2. And then after that day, it feels like there's just a muff on the enemy team every game. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh no.
Because and the funny thing is that they're not doing it for you. They're doing it for the Agu guy. And you're
Yeah,
just like a
that's
side of
yeah,
it.
that's actually the problem though. Is the Agu guy came out actually? That's probably what. That's what it was. That has to be what it was. The Agu guy was a thing, or is a thing now. That's it. Yeah.
Because I remember we were lauding the Agu guy, like, oh man, they gave it all this stuff and it's busted. Yeah, but the Agu guy does it better and it does it at like greater range.
Oh my
While
gosh,
also
the
having like
range
consistent
is.
damage
Missed
from
opportunity.
Yep.
Sorry, I was actually talking about something else. I was
was
looking
gonna
at the
say.
banner. I was looking at the banner art for the DJ, and I was thinking, like, what if they, since the DJ is in the game now, they updated the GM Cannon 2 in the solo player fight to beat a DJ,
Yeah,
but they did
Oh,
not do that.
missed
that would
opportunity.
be
I
nice.
just finished talking to Patrick Zala. I did not do that.
But yeah. So that was pretty much when I noticed the come up. I think is the Agu guy. Yeah, that's what's caused it. But like the man, why did the tentacle have to come out?
I don't know, it's fun.
No,
I
it's
enjoy
good.
it.
It's really good. Like I will say though, the Akai at level 1 still has too much health. Like it still needs a health nerf at the very least.
It's fine. You're getting more.
Okay, you got
Like,
maneuver
come on.
armor, you got a dodge roll, you got more health than the Zaku 1. You've got a
You
more
still have
consistent,
things that
better
hard
stun.
stagger at that cost. You're okay.
I'm the Akai player though,
You will
saying that it's broken.
survive. I know. That's fine. You say goofy shit all the time. I'm alright with that.
Yeah,
Touche.
I agree. You're
Touche.
speaking nonsense right now. Nerfing raids. What kind of ridiculous junk is this?
Oh,
As
man.
long as generals have access to the anti simp rifle, I think raids are in a perfectly fine spot.
It shouldn't be as funny as it is.
Oh man. Oh dude.
But I mean, like Magnum, in regards to what you're saying though, with the way the meta currently is, like between most matches are like 3 to 4 generals. Between the 4 of them, if they can't like have a good idea of what the meta is and have at least one pick that counters the raid player, I think the Akai is in a fine spot. Again, it's supposed to be like it's like it acts kind of like as a separate kind of like solo unit, and it needs those tools in order to survive. Because I mean, if you get caught in a situation like, even if you get put into a 2v1, you're already in an infinitely worse place. Like in a 1v1, you are very powerful, and again, that's the way it should be. But as soon as you add like plus X to that, like your tools start to diminish.
Oh, well,
as
that
like
is
the
true.
team-based
Yeah,
aspects of the
like
game.
it turns
So-
less into what you're gonna attack them with, and it turns more into what are you gonna try
Like,
to
how
get
am I
away
getting the
with.
hell out of here?
Which I agree. I agree with what you said too, that raids should have an advantage in a 1v1 situation, even if
And the
they're at
interesting
type
thing is
disadvantage.
that when we were talking about like the Shiki and all that, I feel like when I play the Shiki, it's always me having to have my head on a swivel because it's very good at getting in and out, and it can do a lot of like damage just up front. But the minute that people realize you're there, definitely the insta-taunt comes on, and everything you're doing from there is you attacking while moving backwards. And if you're not moving backwards, then you're putting some serious work in with that forced injector. And it reminds me, and I think that's why I was able to agree with it being just like a higher cost G3, because old school G3, that's exactly what you're. It was very reactive. It had a lot of tools to just start poking and fucking with people, on top of having that instant stun. And if you weren't sweaty in that suit, then you were probably too busy dying.
Well, here's a question then.
Good point.
Do you feel like you could 1v1 somebody with a Shiki, like 1v1 a general with the Shiki?
Yeah.
I do. I just don't think.
Okay.
I think it's an even match at its cost. Like you, like I don't think it comes. I mean, every fight in the game comes down to player skill.
Yeah.
But like if we're just looking at the two suits on paper, I would say like Mark II, the Mark II has the advantage. The Rick Diaz, it has the advantage. Bald guy beta, like it might be a little bit even, but like it has a way to punch through maneuver armor if it's rockets. It like I would say this argument, besides the fact that it has a literal damage advantage, like in a 1v1 scenario, I think it has two dodge rolls too. Like bald guy beta has a pretty good, seems like it has a good matchup against the Hyakushiki.
Okay, well here.
Oh yeah, because it has that. Not only does it have an advancing downswing, but it's a thrusting downswing that has like extra reach.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like never forget how much that reach is even now.
Those kind of downswings are so relevant.
Oh yeah, like I've gotten used to it now in the bald guy beta. Like I like that suit. I just got the level 1 too, so I'm actually kind of like, oh cool. Here's again back to the trial thing. That would have been cool back in the day. Like which I mean it's really not even that long ago, but like that would be cool to, try that out. I never knew that I liked the bald guy beta that much, but
I knew I would like the bald guy beta because I kept getting clapped by the bald guy. I'm like,
But
this
Magnum,
motherfucker. If only I had it.
That same conversation that we had, but the Hyakushiki has the DJ's loadout. I think is it's like flipped on its head. I think it would be like kind of comes. I think it would ultimately come down to like the player's abilities at that point. Like if you had the shotgun,
like the 1v1 situation,
it would definitely be in favor.
I agree. Yeah, that's kind of what I was
against the DJ. The DJ just like craps.
Yeah, like if I had a secondary that I had to worry about arcing weird, like I'd probably feel a lot more confident in that thing, and I can already kind of in the Shiki if I gotta.
Yeah. Well, the DJ just dunks on all of those suits.
Pretty much. And then here's the other thing though. Like, so going back to 200 cost then. Well then, how about this as a counterpoint? Buff the Zaku one and the GM Light.
I agree. That's been
because right now for a long time. Right now they're irrelevant in my opinion. Like if you can buy as a new player, you can buy the Akai within 2 or 3 games pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like in your first few games, you can buy it. There's no reason to start upping the level from 1 to 3 of either of those, and just get the Akai and start learning to shoot its tiny hitbox beam. But the thing is, even if you can't really do that, you can just Vulcan somebody because 32 shots. You got what? 16 shots, and the Vulcans, like literally 8 Vulcan hits with that thing are stagger, and then they're staggered. Okay, well here's my beam. Boom, you're staggered again. Waddle. You're staggered again. Waddle. Smack. Hit the ground, and then either hit them again or just missile their legs to death or something and run away and laugh. I mean that's like it's gross now how easy it is to just get the first stagger with just the Vulcan. So like
before the recent changes, I would say the GM light armor was kind of like how we were just talking about the GBO3 and the GBO1. Like one is ease of access, the other one might have a higher output with practice. That was the Akai was the practice higher output suit, and the GBO1 was the ease of access, like easier to play suit. But now the Akai is just so amazing. Like the other two suits honestly can't even compete.
And then like I have to thank Cupcake Knight for being the thing that unlocked my new type potential with the Akai. And now after the buffs, like Akai just feels too good, and maybe that's why I'm like, but yeah, buff the other two for at the very least. The other two need to be buffed because I
I'd
mean,
love for the light armor to get a buff because I love running the light armor as it is. Like once I got used to beam weapons, that strip beam rifle had some shit going on. Just poking people's legs, having them start old man walking or Terminator walking for seconds. It's satisfying.
oh yeah, like
Well, it's also weird because like it's straight into light armor. Like a suit with the words light in its name cannot dodge roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're
Like
I
if
feel like
we're
we've been past
retroactively giving other stuff rolls, then that should definitely
oh yeah,
cost.
yeah. Like
at
I feel like
200 with the existence of the camoof, we're well beyond the point where like those initial like entry level raids don't need a buff. Like go ahead and give the Zaku one at least maneuver armor, and the light armor could probably go ahead and use a dodge roll. I mean, they should both probably have a
they
maneuver
should
armor and
both have
dodge roll
both, really.
or something. Yeah, the
Like,
Akai has them.
I mean, the Akai, yeah, exactly. The Akai has them now. It already had a dodge roll, and now it has both. Like, there should be no
Yeah, and
reason that
like
the other two have both.
I can't believe the Akai had a worse I mean, it must have been. They didn't buff the other two, but it's just so hard to believe that the light armor and the fucking Zaku one
Yeah.
had a better like I get the light armor having a better win, but like how the fuck does the Zaku one have a better win rate than the Akai?
Here's
Like it
my
has
only
no
thing.
protection.
You know what it is? The Ultra Sweats.
I was
Ultra
gonna
Sweats
say,
got in that shit and
the only people who play them are just like fucking monsters.
just
So their win rates up.
doing
I can see that.
I was gonna say,
stupid
like,
shit.
I hardly ever would see one. You even hardly. I mean, you would see like a couple of Akais every now and then, but like I mean, yeah, like around
guess
A and
that
stuff.
too,
I
right?
don't
Like, there's
even
just
see.
Paper of people playing it, and the people that were playing it, I guess, are just having like negative stats.
Yeah, because people like to just kind of joke around the Akai, right? So that's probably why it has the negative stats it had. And then like
I'm playing a goofy waddle
I don't
suit.
see hardly any Zaku ones. I either see a GM Light or I mean
Well,
before the patch,
it's
I would see
goofy
the
waddle
GM
suit
Light
and
or
people,
a
like,
goofy waddle. Yeah.
who are playing it for the first time and being like, "Oh, well, this is kind of like XP show or whatever." I wonder what it's like here, and like, man, this shit sucks. So they get blown up that one game, and then they just don't touch it again. But it still counts towards the
I'm gonna paint
stats.
like a Mario brother and mess around this entire match. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, mine's a
Yeah.
Cooper Trooper, so fuck it.
I mean, so I wonder if like I would like to know the amount of games played with the Akai, the GM Light, and the Zaku one from because they took stats from B+ and above players. So like I'm really curious to know the amount of games played at all three of those for those three suits. That would be kind of interesting. Because I think that would be quite telling as well. Like I feel like the Akai was probably the same as the Zaku one, but if you were gonna troll, you're definitely gonna troll in the Akai. If you were so that's probably why but I would say if the Akai didn't have waddle potential, you know, it has its global Akai taunt, like the global Teemo taunt, as an extra invisible skill. If it didn't have that, then I would bet money that we would see like GM Light games played, and then like Zaku 1 and Akai games played would have been down here. But just because of that, it probably was like GM Light, Zaku 1, Akai kind of thing, is if I had to guess prior to this. But that's about the best guess
Did
I
one
got.
of you guys say anything with the Zaku on about like switching to an alt account to play it? Like it's just like I've got a couple people in chat just talking about you know, playing the Zaku one, for instance, and not switching alts, or you know, just not liking to do seal clubbing. And I was just wondering if that came up, because if it did, I just missed it.
No, I mean, I only had the one account anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
So wait,
like I was just making sure, because I mean, it could have just been mentioned up and I just missed it. But I just thought it was strange that chat was just bringing up playing on alt accounts. I thought I may have just missed it. Is all. So I just want to make sure.
Put it this way: someone in my chat earlier today was talking about like, what was it? It was like a re-release of like some old ass game that had nothing to do with Gundam. They just like out of the blue, not even a speaking language, and they just kind of bring it up. So chat bringing up random stuff, not surprising.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm like, trying to think, but
Chat likes to talk at people, not to.
yeah, I pretty much don't swap accounts anymore because of the now that I got all the stuff on my main. But I mean, even then, it's the swapping to an alt though. I'd still be playing against A players though. It's not really like the when you said seal clubbing thing. Like that only happened when the Western release happened, and that was a
You
little
did
bit
it
for
for
science.
science.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was pretty much for science.
Scummy
bit.
science, but it was still
Gotcha.
science.
I don't
Yeah.
think they even use the lower ranked data anyway.
No, and that's the
so
other
like
thing. Yeah,
that would even be a good example anyway.
it's B plus and up is all that they took from that
Mm.
for any of their info. That's apparently the baseline that they use.
Which is
B
fair,
plus and up.
because
Right.
people are actually like conscious of that at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, I was looking back through the chat too, and I was like, wait, what? But yeah,
No,
it
they were
could have
just
been.
mostly messing around.
Okay, cool. I was
just
gonna
telling
say
too, like
it could have been
if
just me
one of you guys had brought
misspeaking
it up.
and
Mhm.
might have caused a misunderstanding. But yeah, because wording
Yeah.
for me is hard sometimes.
Did I feel you there? Sometimes I'll be listening to I'll be in the middle of saying stuff on stream. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Am I high?
Oh yeah, no, I'll listen back
so-
like when I make a guide or something, and I'll be like, I'll listen back to what I said, and I'm like, what did I even? Okay, well, I'm glad I listened to this. You know, I'm glad I'm actually editing some of this in post and I'm glad I decided to listen to this spot right here because that
right.
just sounded dumb. Time to re-record.
Mhm. Yeah, because I was just saying, I was trying to clarify because I just thought it was strange that alts in particular brought up, and I was like I was telling my chat, I would have rebutted that in the podcast if
Yeah.
one of you had said it. They're just like, did I miss it? Like that data isn't even relevant. But I gotcha.
But yeah, overall, I think with a few of the suits being problems, though, I mean, I don't know, maybe we're getting to the point though that the roles are kind of getting blurred because of the suit options that they have to put in for stuff that I don't know,
Right.
unless they just start making some things that aren't canon or just adding things their self.
Mhm.
We might be at the point where there could be that kind of a need to get rid of things or lower the advantage percentage. And I think the only
Maybe.
reason why at low cost it would be a thing is because there's 3 raids on ground right now that you can use. And
Well, that's just because there's pretty much only 3 raids. Like, I feel like that just comes down to them releasing more stuff. I mean, we're kind of just talking said earlier. I still think it's more of a problem at like really high cost.
Yeah.
well,
I
that's what I'm
think
saying. That's why I think
diversity
it's
would
the
fit
only reason.
you're talking about, and
Yeah, exactly.
diversity and buffs need to happen in that lower cost, not so much like changing the triangle.
Yeah,
But I think it could be relevant at higher cost.
because I mean,
think
I
the
would have said
only
the same.
disparity that they would have if they actually did it specifically at high cost is you're talking about like mixed up games, but that's also not rated. So I don't think they'd have to fret about it too much if they actually did try to go there.
Although maybe that's just being held up too, like because we haven't done clan match in a while. Although I don't think the new suit's going to be a raid. I think it'll probably be a supporter general, but we haven't had a clan match in a while because of the situation. And don't worry, I won't say the thing that demonetizes YouTube videos. And not only that, but there hasn't been a ranked battle. There was no we just got to Gun Cannon 2, but it's the same cost as the Gun Cannon 1. But I mean that was our last reward, and it's been a while. So maybe they just had more plans to release more of those lower cost suits without making banners. Because honestly, like, could you imagine if they did a banner for? I mean, I'd be pretty happy to do a Do and Zaku banner. but like,
That'd be
would you roll
amazing.
on a? Would you want to roll on a 200 suit banner?
No,
If it was
I
a
would
support
say
and I liked it, yes. But
Mhm.
that's
they'd
me.
have to bring back the idea of like shadow suits. I get that
I
we're
agree.
talking about the potential of them holding it off for these other events, but like, clan rank just got put up another month. We haven't really even heard or regular ranked at this point.
Yeah.
That thing is slowly but surely becoming just like it was back in the day.
Right. And I mean, just with the way the rotations and the lobbies work, I feel like lower cost is just getting pushed out of the game also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, right now I've been seeing like either there's like a 200 and 250 and then like a 600. I haven't really seen too many like 500s and 450. And it's probably the time of day that I'm playing and stuff
Right.
too.
I also kind
I
of
wish I
wonder
knew,
how
like,
much of that is dictated
yeah.
by like player volume too.
Hmm.
Like if they had a bigger player base, maybe they would expand the amount of lobbies per quick and rated. Because having a fourth one for like later in the day was a big deal. But if they went even further to try to include a wider scale, that'd be interesting too. I'd also like to
So-
see how common it is for people to just do customs. Like how many people are regularly in customs despite like
I don't
daily
see a lot of custom lobbies nowadays. Just as like really peak times. Because
Yeah,
at least sometimes I look
hit
at
or
it and be
miss.
like maybe 4.
Mm.
Today I think there was about 7 or something when I was trying to make
Gotcha.
a lobby just to get the space dailies done with Chad. So
I will say though, I think if quarantine going on, we'll definitely see an increase in them for sure right now. But I wonder if that'll kind of go back down after things kind of settle.
probably.
Yeah.
But
There's been
Gustav, I like what you were saying. Let's just triple the game's like player base and just turn into SDGO.
Oh man. What is it? That
That's
other
that's
online
SD Gundam Online for anybody who doesn't know. Go ahead, Gustav.
is SD still going? I know the other one. The
Probably
other
private servers or something.
yeah.
What's it called? Gustav, I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name though.
Yeah, it's like even more I think it's actually a little bit more dated than GBO, at least I don't know. But that one's been going for a hot minute just because of variety and stuff. On top of it being free.
Is it SDGO that has the 64 versus 64 or whatever nonsense?
Yeah, like some
think so, yeah.
crazy no,
Okay.
the
Or
one
is it
that
the other
I'm
one?
trying to talk about is the one that has that.
Okay, that's the one I was wanting to refer to then. Is it just a Gundam Online? MSGO?
Yeah, it's like MSGO or something like that.
That might be it, MSGO. They're very similar.
But
Mobile suit, go.
yeah.
Cereal
like
box
Pokemon Go, but
Gundam.
it's like Pokemon Go, except you catch mobile suits.
Oh gosh. You got to do it as the
Okay,
aggro
it's
guy.
an MSGO. I would like to amend my statement, Your Honor. Triple the player base and turn the game into MSGO. Let's change the record. Dash my previous statement. Thank you.
Is that code for me to edit it and post?
Hey man,
No.
I mean, if you, we could go there again if you really want to triple the player base. Just turn it into next 2.
Oh
Oh
God.
no.
Get all the wing Gundams people in there. Get the
I know.
Barbatos.
I still every now and then have players come into my stream and be like, I really wish Barbados was in this game or Wing or something like that.
Then they'd have to go
It's
head to
pretty-
head with Maxi Boost. That's another thing. I wonder how many people are gonna off once that actually drops, or
That's
if
gonna
they'll
be an
have
interesting one.
an event related to it, kind of like they did for the bonuses for next players and all that,
Mhm.
That'd
or
be
like when
interesting.
they did the cross rays bonuses.
Those in-game ads are very cool, by the way. I like it when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, hopefully,
yeah.
I do hope that they follow up with that for Maxi.
Mhm. Oh, that'd be
It'll,
sweet.
it'll be the last one in a little while.
Yeah, just put Exia or Double O in the base camp, man.
Yeah. Whatever like titular suits that they have like on the cover, just put them on. Just put them
Yeah, that'd
around
be
the base.
sick. Like you'd have people that download the game just so they can come to the base camp and cream their pants.
Like, oh my god, look at this model.
Yeah,
Never gonna look like this in Maxi Boost. Fuck.
I look better.
It's a 4-year-old game. Damn it.
Like the speaking of just the base camp, like what if you could change like where the Zeta is now? Just change that to whatever suit you want.
That would
I
be
think
cool.
that would be
Be
cool.
cool. Just
Or even just have him
customize
rotate
randomly.
after a while.
Yeah. But like they would have to
Put
widen that
NT back in there just
that
for shits.
fence out just so that you won't randomly see one of your friends just kind of walk over and go through whatever suit you have there.
I mean, if they're gonna do that, they need to go ahead and put in. I don't know. This is like growing dangerously into tangent territory.
Oh, we've already been in tangent territory.
We've been in there. Like we
Uh,
could have ended
No,
like
this was meta talk, right?
no, I mean we've already
okay,
tangented off of the meta talk.
Okay, maybe instead of territory, we're in meta country or we're in tangent country then.
tangent country.
But yeah, I'm just not gonna bring up that they should just do DLC or in-game purchases for cosmetics then.
Yeah.
Because that'll get us more caught up in it. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
So
and people will just go maximum re. But you're right.
For
They
sure.
should.
So Gustav, Magnum, what mobile suits would you guys like to see next week?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go ahead and get it into next mobile suit talk.
I don't know anymore because we actually got the one of the suits. I was like, well, eventually show up, and lo and behold, here it is, fucking DJ.
I'm gonna go with what I said last week, and 3 support is gonna be my 3 guesses because on my 600 support.
At this point, yeah, you know, and I'm just gonna do the declaration of we need supports, please. And the Methodist is totally gonna be a support.
Yeah, okay, so here's my 3 picks then in that case. I'm gonna do the Palace Athene, the Methus, and the Ashimara.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was my second choice. They just need to whip it out. They just need to whip out that Ashimar. Let it whip out the old launcher. A lot of whipping going on.
I do kind of wonder when we're going to see the Mega Launcher, like
Mega Launcher Zeta or like Shiki.
Yeah, no, not the Shiki. That thing would be like 2 mobile suits. But forward to Zeta, because apparently in the live stream they said that, or at some point they said that they had plans to put that weapon in the game. So I mean, we're supposed to get it eventually. So it's kind of wonder when that's going to be.
I kind of want the Mega Launcher Shiki just because you could use this second suit as like a funnel. You just send them out to like back you up. Just be the Methodist going out and like shooting its handguns at someone for a second or like swinging at them.
So just turn it into Blue Gundam, but maybe if a second mobile suit acts as your battery, it just charges 2 times faster.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
That'd be cool.
That'd be like another reason for the support me call. You just like whip out the gun and hit that, like someone come here.
Now, do it.
It'd
support
be a really
me.
strong actually. You pretty much have to watch out for getting giant lasered at the beginning because they would pretty much have it ready to go.
It should be as big as like the volley lasers too.
Oh
gosh,
that'd be terrifying.
Like just one big ass beam.
But could you imagine that in like a normal match? Like, so it's the Yakushiki just do what every other suit does and just reach over his shoulder and it's a giant cannon appears and puts it out in front of him. But it just got that hanging off its back the entire match. I'm gonna go with the Masala. I think that we're gonna get a.
You know, it'd be cool though. Like if you hit the
Zetas.
weapon, like if you hit, you had to initialize the weapon when you scroll over it, and it actually shot towards your position, and it worked like a Skirei.
That'd be interesting.
But like when you wanted to fire it, you had to stand still.
Right, that'd be cool. We should have like a Skirei style vehicle you can summon. That'd be really strong. Skirei, like the iframes that you get from the Skirei would actually be pretty powerful. Because you could pretty much just like you could almost like iframe abuse to some degree with that. That'd be interesting. But
Yeah, like you'd be
yeah,
slow moving as fuck after you got it, but like you can
right.
save yourself for a second and just be like, hopefully somebody noticed.
It's like, oh shit, that's an NBL. Let me hop on my Skure. Um, but with the DJ coming out, this is a pretty strong Zeta suit. I feel. I could see them doing like another one next week. Like I could see some degree for them going back to older suits,
Yeah.
but so like I'll say we'll either see like the Raid Methus, the Masala as a support,
Mhm.
or the full armor slave wraith as a general.
Or the Hazel. Yeah, that's gonna be my third.
So just on a side note, then, since
Mhm.
we've kind of listed our three choices out, um, do you think they might go on a hiatus from doing Zeta suits again?
Nah, I think next week is going to be a Zeta suit.
Oh, I think he means after the festival.
Yeah, because this is
Right. I think next week
technically,
is going to be a Zeta suit.
yeah, and this is the last week of the festival, so
Oh, I
Mhm.
thought the next one was.
No, it's a 4-week thing
yeah.
as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see if we just get something random. But my point is though, is we need a 600, please. I'm gonna be
Hell
forever
yeah.
salty till that actually
600
hits.
support comes out.
Yeah, pretty much.
You'll get that in about 2 weeks, Magnum.
I mean, last time it took. I'll take 2 weeks. I'll take 2 weeks, man.
Just
Like
end of
last
the month.
instead of 2 months.
Surprise.
At least
Yeah.
it'll be better than the MLRS. 2 months later, we finally get a 550 support. That's
Why
its
just
own.
not get it until the end of May?
Probably.
The clan battle reward will be a 600 support.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
no.
I'm done.
Yo, if they put that much weight on clan, you know how many people would be so salt.
Just join
Holy
a clan,
shit.
forehead. We'll have to combine our forces, guys.
I was gonna say I'd be
Um,
like join Magnum Gaming for 1 week and then we'll rotate people out. Just go around.
Just
Like,
start clan having.
yeah, pretty much. Like, man.
Excuse me.
But yeah. So we can go ahead and start heading into some shout outs if we want to go ahead and do that.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.
I'm GamingEmblem. I stream video games on the internet. You can find me at twitch.tv/GamingEmblem, which by the time you see this on YouTube will already have been online and gone offline. But after the podcast, we're gonna play. I downloaded some Japanese dating sims, and I'm gonna play like one of those on stream, and then play Disaster Report 4. It is going to be quite fun. So check that out. It should be interesting. Or if you're on YouTube, watch the VOD. If you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, fun internet, video games, quarantine. Wow, GamingEmblem.
Trying to do shout outs to your fucking. Hold on.
That was like the shoutiest shout out of all time. Okay.
No, I mean I'm on my chat. So
Oh,
I'm
I
trying
see.
to do
I
it
see.
for you guys.
Okay.
But yeah, Gustav the 13th, Gustav _X_III on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. We will be continuing tomorrow with more FF7 Remake along with our usual Gundam Battle Operation 2. And after Remake is done, we'll be moving to Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Ooh.
What about you guys?
And then I'm EG Magnum, so as always, everybody's stuff will be down in the description below. But I stream on Twitch, got a Discord, got a YouTube channel and stuff like that. Twitter stuff and things. Gonna be doing more Final Fantasy VII. Definitely tomorrow, maybe tonight, depending on how well the internet tries to stay stable. But then let's see, Borderlands 3, more of that definitely next week. Probably Final Fantasy Hard Mode next week, and got to get back into Path of Exile. Still been trading for some awesome gear and crafting things. I now have like 38 exalt orbs and just
Rich get
crafted
richer.
things that like are worth 4 to 8x per time I craft them. So yeah, pretty much rich get richer. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Probably gonna hop into some Tarkov and maybe try to get Monster Hunter World. The raid, from what I know, ends on the 22nd, I think. And then I think around then we're gonna actually be caught up with the the PS4 version, so everybody's the same. Crossplay maybe at some point.
Dun dun dun.
I mean, that would be cool if they did that. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Leave us a comment down below on what you'd like us to talk about in the future. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
See ya.